Hey, welcome to Home Video Hangouts. I'm Cody, and today we're going to walk through my entire collection of over 2,000 movies you see behind me here, along with all my Funko Pops I have above my movie shelves. So let's get right into it. We're starting with my box sets here, which are 4K box sets. So starting out, we have the Harry Potter full 4K box set here. This one's kind of stuck in here. So this one's an 8-film collection. I really enjoy the Harry Potter series. I've enjoyed watching some of the films in this box set, and it seemed like they did a good job with these 4K releases too. I feel like they really upgraded the video quality over the original DVD releases, and in addition, there are some good special features on there. I think the audio really stands out from what the previous releases had on these 4K releases as well. So pretty happy with that box set. I found a great deal on that. I think I paid less than $100 for the whole set of 8 movies, so I think I paid $10 or less per movie. Not a bad deal. Then next we have the Bjorn series here. So there's a few different versions of this 4K box set out there, but I found a good deal on this one. It's been a long time since I've watched any of these movies, so I probably need to rewatch some of them soon, but I do like that series. Great action series, been around a while, so probably have to get them to try again soon. Then, of course, I have to have the Dark Knight series here. So this is a pretty small box set that has the trilogy in it. I enjoy all those movies, think they're pretty well made, and I am looking forward to seeing what these look like on 4K in terms of the contrast and the black levels and everything on my OLED TV. Should be pretty cool. Then here we have the 5-movie collection for Jurassic World. So this doesn't include every single movie. You could see it includes quite a few here on the back. Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So Dominion's not included here because it came out later after the box set, but I do have that one separately in my collection. Then I have a Mission Impossible collection here as well. This is a 6-movie collection. So I haven't watched any of these in quite a while either, but I do want to rewatch those on 4K. I've never been a huge fan of the Mission Impossible series, but I definitely want to give them another chance because they're very popular. It's another one of those series where they keep upping the action with every release, so I'll probably give that another try. And then we have the Resident Evil collection here. There are also a couple different types of box sets you can get on 4K for Resident Evil. This is the one that just has these kind of cardboard holders for each disc inside, whereas there's another one that includes a bunch of Steelbooks. Both you could find good deals on online during sales, but I was happy with getting this one. I didn't feel like I needed to have Steelbooks for all of them if they're just going to be in a box set anyway. So I haven't watched these yet, but I am looking forward to trying out that series. Then we have my Action Steelbooks here. I have all my 4K Steelbooks together at least. I have a few Blu-ray Steelbooks which will be separate. So first of all, we have Captain Marvel. I watched this one in the theater. Haven't watched it on 4K yet. I got Kin. This is a pretty cool looking Steelbook and not a bad movie. This one I have watched. I was able to pick this one up for $5 at Walmart when I found it one day. I haven't found a lot of $5 4K Steelbooks at Walmart, but I did find that one at one point. Then here is Violent Night, one of my favorite action movies and favorite Christmas movies of all time. I really wanted to have the Steelbook for this one because of how much I love that movie, and I just think it's really great. So pretty cool looking Steelbook, has kind of a textured finish on it as well. So highly recommend that one if you haven't seen it. Then next we have Sympathy for the Devil. I got this one from Best Buy during their clearance time. I paid like $13 or $14 for it, not knowing anything about the movie, and it's not a bad movie for as far as the movies that Nicolas Cage has come out in recently. I feel like he's had a lot of movies that aren't the greatest, but I was kind of impressed with what they did with this one with the lower budget it had, and so I would recommend checking that one out. It's a nice Steelbook too. Then we have one of the Thor movies. This one is Love and Thunder, I believe. Yes, and there's the back of it. So I watched this one in the theater. I enjoyed that one. Haven't checked out the 4K yet, but all of the Marvel movies are pretty cool, and I enjoy Thor. Then here we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever in a 4K Steelbook. It was interesting with this one because I got this from Best Buy towards the end of their clearance, and there was actually 2 different versions of this 4K Steelbook, and I chose to pick up this one. I thought this was the cooler one of the 2, and it was available nearby. So there's the front of it, there's the back of it, but I thought it was pretty strange that they made 2 different versions of the same Steelbook. It seems like kind of a cash grab from collectors, in my opinion. It's kind of weird, but I'm glad I found that one. And here's Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I like the artwork on this one. I haven't seen the second Shazam yet here, but I watched the first one in the theater and enjoyed it, and so I'll be giving both of these a try on 4K. Then Iron Man. I have Iron Man 3 here on Steelbook, and I ended up watching all of these movies in the theater, I believe, and I would say Iron Man is one of my favorite series in the MCU, so I definitely want to have all of those on 4K of some kind, but happy I got a good deal on that Steelbook. I think I only paid $6 or $7 for that Steelbook. And here is Ant-Man Quantumania. Pretty cool artwork on that Steelbook. Haven't watched that movie yet, but I've watched the rest of the series. Pretty good Marvel series as well. Then here I have both of these Star Wars Steelbooks. So we have The Empire Strikes Back as well as Return of the Jedi. These were special Steelbooks that came out that were sold at Best Buy as part of the Disney 100th anniversary. And these are 4K Steelbooks as well. And a lot of people didn't like the artwork that these Steelbooks have. I was just happy to get a good deal on the 4K copies of these movies because I paid like $10 for them, which isn't too bad of a deal. There's not much on the back of them, just this logo here. So while a lot of people don't like those, I'm happy to have them. And then here's Creed 3. I'm trying to get all the Creed movies on 4K. I have only this one on a Steelbook copy, though. Not a bad fighting series. And then just watched this movie recently, Kick-Ass 2. Both the Kick-Ass movies are awesome, I think, and they did really well with the Steelbook too. It has nice texture, some cool spray paint type artwork on it. A couple more of the characters on the back. Really enjoy that one. Then this is a kind of a unique Steelbook that I picked up just recently. So this Steelbook actually is a slipcover. It has a clear slipcover that slips out of, and it has some information on the back on the clear part. So I like how they did that instead of just sticking a cardboard thing on the back like they do with this box set here, for example. So Chaos Walking I haven't watched recently. I'm not sure if I ever watched it on streaming, but I'll be giving that one a try again soon as well. Okay, now moving over here. I did something a little different with how I have this part of the box sets organized. So first of all, we have my Fast and Furious movies. Fast and Furious movies are some of my favorite movies that I have. It's one of my favorite series of all time because I love cars and I love the crazy action sequences in these movies. So I have the 8-movie 4K collection here. And then before that, I have my individual copies. So I have Fast X over here in the corner, F9 and Hobbs and Shaw. I also do have Furious 7 in a Blu-ray Steelbook, which I never got rid of when I got this 4K collection, just because I like having the Steelbook. So you'll see that later on in this video, but these are all of my Fast and Furious movies. So this is another one that has like a cardboard thing on the back. So very happy to have all those on 4K. Then we have the Planet of the Apes trilogy. So I have all of those movies right now, but I know we're going to have another Planet of the Apes movie coming out shortly, so I'll have to get that when it comes out too. But I do enjoy all these movies. I think it's an excellent series, and I watched or rewatched War for the Planet of the Apes just recently, so I highly recommend all of those films. All right, then I also have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This can be kind of a pricier 4K set to buy, but I love those movies and wanted to have them the highest quality possible. I haven't watched these on 4K yet, but I look forward to it because there's some great action in those, and I imagine that a lot of effort went into making this 4K release, and so I'm hoping they did well with that one. I can't wait to give that one a try. All right, then we have the Hobbit series, of course, as well. I've actually never seen any of these movies yet, so I want to start that trilogy as well, maybe after I rewatch the Lord of the Rings series. But both of these are ones that I think will be great on the 4K format. Then here I have the Mummy Ultimate Trilogy, and this one I'm assuming probably originally came in like some kind of slipcover, because I bought this used at Rasputin and it just came like this, and I got a pretty good deal on it, but I do think it's missing a slipcover most likely, because if I turn this upside down, the disc would almost start like falling out of the top, which isn't ideal, but it does take up less space on my shelf this way anyway, so I'm okay with it. Then I have the Predator 4-movie collection. I remember getting a pretty good deal on this one at half-price books with a discount, so it's been a long time since I've seen any of those movies too, but I'll be giving those another shot at some point. Then we have the Jack Ryan 5-film collection here. I've never given these a try, so I'll want to watch through those at some point as well, but got another good deal on this one. I think it was during one of Amazon's sales where they had a good deal on 4K discs. And of course, the classic Back to the Future. Have this whole trilogy. I've watched the first 2 of these on this 4K set. Haven't watched the third one in 4K yet, but I think they did a pretty good job with it. Not my favorite 4K release ever, but overall I think it does the movies justice, and it's worthwhile to pick up the 4K copies for these. Then we have a Transformers movie set here. This is a 5-movie collection, so there's some that aren't included in here, some of the spin-offs and some of the future movies, but this was overall a pretty good deal I think I got from Amazon as well. So these are, fun, kind of mindless movies to watch with a lot of crazy action. I always enjoy watching those. And here is the Indiana Jones 4-movie collection. If I remember right, I think I got a deal on this one either from Amazon or from Target with a sale. Has 4 movies in it, so wouldn't have the latest release in it, but these are all great movies and definitely ones I'll want to rewatch on 4K at some point. So that is it for the 4K box sets in the action section. Now we're going to move on to some individual ones. So first of all here I have Deadpool. So Deadpool is one that I definitely want to have in 4K because one of my favorite movies in all of the MCU. Good release there. Life, I could almost maybe consider this one a horror movie too, but I enjoy this one as kind of a sci-fi action movie, and if you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend it. It's a great, kind of even underrated sci-fi adventure, so that's another one I'd recommend seeing on 4K specifically. This one's upside down here, it looks like. We have Event Horizon. I don't believe I've actually watched this one yet. I think I've heard good things about the 4K release though, so I'll be giving that one a shot soon. Then Ready Player One. This is an awesome one in terms of visual effects. Definitely a must-have on the 4K format. And especially if you're into video games, there's lots of great retro references in here and everything. Just a really unique movie. And Wonder Woman. This is probably my favorite movie of the DC universe. This or one of the Batman movies. I definitely think this first one is way better than Wonder Woman 1984 that came out after it. So happy to have that one in 4K too. Then here we have Ghostbusters Answer the Call. This one gets a lot of hate, but I got a pretty good deal on this one on 4K, and while it did get a lot of hate, I do appreciate some of the visual effects in it and how, it's one of the first movies to incorporate a lot of modern visual effects into the Ghostbusters series, so I'll be watching that one on 4K at some point soon too, probably. And here we have Infinite with Mark Wahlberg. Not very familiar with this movie, but another one I believe I picked up pretty cheap, probably at Mad Monk or Rasputin. Has a slipcover as well. Then we have a 4K collection of Men in Black, the first 3 movies. Those are all classics you gotta have. And here we have Hellboy. This is a slipcover as well. I haven't watched this one yet. And Godzilla vs. Kong with a slipcover. I watched the latest movie in this series in the theater recently, so makes me tempted to watch some of these older ones again. Just the awesome action they have, that would be great for 4K. And Passengers, this one has kind of a thick case. I watched this one in the theater when it came out, but I haven't watched it again since then, so have to rewatch that. Thor Ragnarok, probably my favorite movie in the Thor series. I appreciate what they did with both Thor and the Hulk in this one. That was a lot of fun to watch. And the original Thor, not my favorite movie in the MCU, but still one I want to have in my collection because I picked it up cheap. And Free Guy, a lot of fun to watch this movie if you like any kind of video games. I think they chose a great cast for this one and just had a lot of fun with it. Nobody. This was kind of an unexpected movie, but very much a fun clone of John Wick. I really enjoyed the action sequences in here and kind of the whole plot. And Overlord, this is one of the first 4K movies I added to my physical media collection many years ago, way before my YouTube channel. And this one has some great visual effects in it too. Not my favorite 4K of all time, but I do recommend this one on the format. And this one has a slipcover, which is cool. But I remember picking it up at Best Buy many years ago. Then we have Independence Day Resurgence. Got to have the Independence Day movies on 4K. And Aquaman. I really enjoyed this movie when it came out. Jason Momoa makes for a great superhero. And we have Collateral. I watched that one not too long ago. Older movie and not the best visually on 4K. A lot of grain and stuff, but good plot, engaging story. And then we've got Bad Boys for Life. I enjoyed that one in the theater too, and that whole series is a lot of fun. Now moving on, we have The Martian over here. This was a great Matt Damon movie. I watched that one in the theater. That one's great on a big screen and would be great on the 4K format, I'm sure. You'll see there's a lot of movies here I haven't watched yet. I slowly watch my movies over time, and I'm always picking up new ones, so it's tough to stay up to date on watching everything in my collection, but I'm constantly curating it to make it my own and just keep the movies that I really want to have. And then here we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm working on getting all of the Spider-Man movies on 4K, but don't have a lot of them so far, but I do have that one. And here is Deadpool 2. I enjoyed the follow-up to that movie, and I'm very much looking forward to the third Deadpool movie where they incorporate Wolverine. Should be a lot of fun. I enjoy how much comedy they put in those movies. And Rampage, fun one with Dwayne Johnson, especially if you ended up ever playing any of those old Rampage arcade games. Has a little bit of a Godzilla and Kong feel. And this one here, I really love this movie. This is probably one of my favorite 4Ks in my collection, Alita Battle Angel. I feel like this is still a pretty underrated movie. I mean, it's the same producers as Avatar, it says right there, and I think it has kind of a unique style, unique plot, and it looks really great on 4K. Definitely very vibrant, very clear, and I highly, highly recommend checking out that one if you haven't already. You can usually find this one pretty cheap on Amazon and different places too. Robin Hood with Jamie Foxx. I don't know a lot about this one. I don't think it got super high ratings, but I wanted to still give that a shot on the 4K format. I got Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, and I don't think I've ever seen this one yet either, but it has a great cast, so I'll want to give that one a shot. I think they incorporate a good amount of comedy in those as well. Then here we have Love and Monsters. So this one I haven't seen recently, but I did see years ago, so I'll be giving that one a shot again soon. Then next we have Avatar. Of course, you got to have Avatar on 4K. Haven't given this a try on a 4K disc yet, but I did watch it recently on Disney Plus, which was disappointing, and I did watch it multiple times in the theater when it came out, so still have to give this 4K copy a try. Then here we have some Avengers movies. First of all, Avengers Infinity War. And I did enjoy watching all these in the theater. I'll have to give them a try on 4K because it seems like a movie that would be good on the 4K format. This one here is Avengers Age of Ultron. And here is the original Avengers. And lastly, Avengers Endgame. So my opinion on those, I enjoyed some of the effects in the last two movies in the Avengers series, but I do miss a lot of the cast that was part of these. You know, they were a lot of fun to have in the MCU. Then Oblivion, I remember watching this one in the theater when it came out. Not my favorite Tom Cruise movie, but wasn't bad. I could see this one having some good visual effects on the 4K format. Ender's Game, haven't watched this one yet either. This one has a slipcover though. Got that one pretty inexpensively. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Those movies are both a lot of fun. I know Disney's 4K releases aren't typically the best, but they're still ones I like to have on the highest quality format possible because they're classics. And the original, this is Rambo, The Fight Continues. And this one I have because I'm trying to get all the Rambo movies on 4K. I picked up Rambo 3 recently on 4K and want to try to get all of those, and then I'll probably watch through that whole series again once they have them all in 4K, because I kind of see those almost like John Wick from an earlier time. You know, a lot of intense action in those. Pretty cool. And here I have Plane. I watched this one in the theater as well. That's a pretty good Gerard Butler movie, in my opinion. Definitely another kind of survival plane crash type movie. There's been some of those in the past, but they did really well with this one, I thought. And here we have Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. I've heard this isn't the greatest 4K release, but I'm still going to give it a try. I think I got a pretty good deal on this 4K. And Brightburn with the slipcover. I think years ago I watched this one on streaming or something. Kind of an interesting concept, but hopefully that one will look pretty good on 4K. And The New Mutants. I don't know a lot about this one, but it looks like it was a pretty young cast. Could have some good visual effects. And Widows, another one I don't know a lot about, but it seemed like a decent cast. This one has a slipcover too. And here I have X-Men Dark Phoenix. I don't think this one is rated very high. I got this one pretty cheap, and I've seen this one cheap in a few different places, but this has a slipcover too. And Star Wars The Last Jedi. I know these modern Star Wars movies aren't really as good as the older ones, but still want to have that whole series. I still enjoy some of the action in those. Same with Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. And here is Solo, the Star Wars story. That's probably one of my least favorite in the series, but still wanted to have it. Monster Hunter, another movie based on a video game. This one has some intense sci-fi type action too. And Annihilation in 4K with a slipcover. I remember watching this one in the theater and thought this one had some interesting visual effects and a very interesting plot, so very happy to be able to watch that one on 4K. Training Day, I did see this 4K copy recently. I did a pretty good job with that one. It's not going to be the most visually stunning, but overall I think it's a good release. This one has the nice Warner Brothers 100 slipcover. And Gemini Man, I watched this one recently as well, and this one's unique because of the high frame rate that it plays in and that was recorded in. So everything looks a little bit different because of the higher frame rate in this movie. So that makes it especially unique for an action movie and something I really enjoyed watching. And here is Kong Skull Island. That had a unique filming style in the Kong and Godzilla series. And Godzilla King of Monsters. This one has a slipcover too. Enjoy that cover quite a bit. That had some awesome monsters in it, some awesome monster battles. And the original Godzilla, this one's not my favorite in the series if you see my ranking video of all those movies, but still a good movie. And here we have King Kong Ultimate Edition. So that was, not really related to the other movies, but still a decent one. And Full Metal Jacket. Haven't watched this one, I believe, but wanted to give that one a try. Here's another one that I feel is pretty underrated. I didn't see this one in a theater, but I got this 4K and watched it at home, and I thought it had incredible visuals, incredible audio. This is a slipcover copy as well. And I think it's an awesome movie. While a lot of people don't think it's that great, I really enjoyed it. Here we have 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is seen by a lot of people as one of the greatest 4K releases, a great reference disc. And I will say, for its time period, it was an advanced movie. This is a great 4K release in terms of the resolution and visuals and everything, but it is a very slow-paced movie, not the most engaging. So I do appreciate this release specifically, but I can't say it's my favorite movie of all time. Then In the Heart of the Sea with Chris Hemsworth. I got a good deal on this one through Groove, and I enjoyed that movie. It's a great kind of ocean story where they're on boats and ships most of the time, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Again, a little bit slower pace, but still a very enjoyable movie. And here's a multi-pack with Expendables 1 through 3. There's a lot of good deals out there on the Expendables movies on 4K on different formats, whether it's box sets like this or individually. Great cast in all those. Here we have Air Force One with Harrison Ford. Haven't watched this one recently, but I've heard good things about it. And another Spider-Man movie, you got Far From Home with the slipcover. I think I got this one for $6 or $7 too. And we have Mechanic Resurrection, the 4K slipcover. I want to watch these couple movies again soon because I love Jason Statham's movies and don't remember this one very well. And here is Spider-Man Homecoming, another good one in the Spider-Man series. And another Tom Holland movie, Uncharted, with the slipcover. I think the casting was a little odd for this one based on the video game. I don't think Mark Wahlberg was the best choice for his character, but I did enjoy this movie still. And then here we have Midway. Haven't watched that one recently, but war movies are usually pretty cool on 4K. And here we have Ocean's 8. I haven't seen that one yet either, but I've heard it's not the best in that whole series. And here I have Apollo 13. Still got a sticker on that one because I don't know whether I'm keeping this one in my collection yet, but I'll give that one a try soon. Then we're going to move over a little bit here. Here's another Jurassic movie. Here's Jurassic World Dominion. That wasn't part of my box set I mentioned earlier, so I have that one separately. Then we have Mortal Kombat, another video game movie I haven't watched recently. And The Dark Tower, I picked this one up on 4K recently. This one has Dolby Atmos and Vision, so that should be a pretty good looking one that I'll have to try out soon. And we have Snatch. I've heard this could be a pretty good comedy, but haven't tried it yet. Another one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I'm going to try to get all those on 4K. This one's Dead Men Tell No Tales. Here we have VFW. This looks like an interesting action, thriller, horror kind of movie. And we have Anna, female lead in an action revenge type movie. And The Darkest Minds in this 4K with the slipcover. I don't know a lot about this one, but this one I think I upgraded at one point because it was cheap. And Bumblebee. This one was at least partially filmed in Santa Cruz, California, where I'm initially from, so wanted to watch that one soon. Whole Transformers series is pretty fun. And here's Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds, classic alien sci-fi movie. And The Hitman's Bodyguard. Haven't seen these recently. And The Revenant. That was a pretty intense movie that definitely need to see in 4K. And Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. I watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies over the years, and this was cool to get this Warner Brothers 100 slipcover release. 1917, I was excited to find this one because I think this one has a very unique filming style with the one continuous shot, and that was really cool. Still got this one sealed. I think I got that from Groove. And I believe I got this from Groove as well, the John Wick Chapter 1 through 3 combo pack. Love the whole John Wick series. And here's the Mad Max anthology. I've seen some of the movies. I don't think I've seen all of them, and I wanted to watch all of them through again on 4K, so happy to have that box set. And Speed. Picked this one up from Best Buy on sale for probably $10 or less. Great movie. Haven't watched it for years, but know it's a great classic. And Voyagers. This is an interesting sci-fi movie with a young cast. I think I watched this on streaming years ago, but wanted to give the 4K disc a shot too. And Deepwater Horizon with Mark Wahlberg. It's an intense one based on a true story, I believe, in a 4K slipcover. And The Incredible Hulk. I actually enjoyed this movie, I think, more than a lot of people do. The interesting fact about this, there's actually a Blu-ray release of this movie that has a green Blu-ray case, which was unique. I don't have that personally, but wanted to have this one in 4K. And Triple X, Return of Xander Cage. I did enjoy this movie quite a bit when I saw it in the theater. It was great bringing Vin Diesel back to that series, as that was a fun series of action movies. And here's The Meg on 4K. I didn't like the sequel to this as much, but the original is definitely entertaining to watch. And Snitch, one I really enjoy from Dwayne Johnson. Great 4K copy with the slipcover. And 47 Ronin with the slipcover. So this one I wanted to watch because it has Keanu Reeves and it had an interesting plot. It did have some cool visual effects that I enjoyed, but pretty slow paced. Not my favorite movie of all time. Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Wanted to have all the Transformers movies, so that one I haven't watched yet, but I'll be watching through those again at some point. And then we have Kingsman: The Secret Service. I watched both the Kingsman movies recently. That was a pretty enjoyable one. Good 4K release here too. These look really good on the 4K format. Both have very vibrant visuals and a good soundtrack. And then ID4 Independence Day on 4K. Haven't watched that one on the 4K copy yet, but another classic movie. Terminator Genesis. Working on getting all the Terminator movies. I got the second one on Blu-ray because I know that's not a very good 4K release, but the rest of them I'll probably get on 4K. Original 300, this was an interesting one to watch on the 4K format because it was probably one of the grainiest movies I've ever seen, which I guess was maybe an artistic choice, but I'm never a huge fan of that, and I think this would have been better with a little bit less grain, but still an intense movie, one I enjoy. And then got a double pack here of both the Top Gun movies, Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. So I watched both of those, or actually I watched Maverick in the theater, and then I've seen both of the movies multiple times, but the 4K copy here is incredible. And then Now You See Me 1 and 2 in a combo pack. I don't know if I've seen these before, but I wanted to watch those in 4K. Here is Captain America Winter Soldier, another MCU movie. Here is the original Iron Man. I think this is my favorite movie in the MCU of all time. Probably this or Deadpool. Captain America, The First Avenger. One of my least favorite in the MCU, probably. Baby Driver. This is a very fun movie. Really enjoy this one. Great soundtrack. Great car driving, stunts and everything. And pretty good cast. Here we have Stallone, First Blood. So again, trying to get the whole Rambo series. Here we have Rambo Last Blood. I haven't watched that one ever actually yet. And I do have Wonder Woman 1984, even though I didn't think it was the best movie. I wanted to still give it a try on 4K for some of the visuals. Here's Red Sparrow. I watched this one, I think, in a theater, but haven't watched it at home yet, so I'll have to give that 4K a try. And here I have Punisher Warzone. Not very familiar with that one, but I'll try that out. The Magnificent Seven. I don't have a lot of Westerns, but I remember this one being a decent one. Equalizer 2 on 4K. Not a bad series. Bullet Train in 4K. I got this one from Best Buy. Wasn't my favorite movie. Has a few good action sequences and some visuals, but overall not my favorite. I was almost hesitant to even keep this one, but I'm keeping it in my collection for now. Then here's the more modern Men in Black International. Not as good as the originals, but not terrible. And Mortal Engines. I love this movie. This is probably another one of my favorite 4Ks in my collection, just from how this movie looks and sounds. I think this one really does the 4K format justice and really shows what a 4K disc is capable of. Even if this isn't the highest rated movie or whatever, this looks and sounds incredible on this format. All right, on the next row here, we have A Simple Favor on 4K, the slipcover. This is one that I actually paid like $1 for, I think, so that was an incredible deal. I watched that one in the theater originally. It's a little bit of an odd movie, but I'll probably give that one another chance because I got it so cheap. We have The Great Wall with Matt Damon. Fun action movie to watch. Pacific Rim Uprising, another great series with incredible action. And The Batman. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. Very dark movie, but has some awesome visual effects. One I'll really want to watch on 4K. Ambulance. This was incredible when I watched it in the theater, and I've heard it's a great 4K release as well, so have to give that a try. This is the collector's edition. And Patriots Day with the slipcover. Been a while since I watched that one, but great true story. Great release. Here we have Captain America Civil War. Been a while since I watched that one. And the original Black Panther. Not my favorite in the MCU, but not a bad movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Good follow-up to the original. And Valerian. I don't remember a lot about this one, but remember it being a decent sci-fi movie with a younger cast. Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson. I got a good deal on this one. I remember watching it in the theater. Pretty entertaining. And Moonfall with the slipcover. I enjoy this movie quite a bit. Some people don't like this movie very much, but I think it's a lot of fun to watch as a disaster movie. And Pitch Black, I have the Arrow 4K release. So I don't think I've ever seen this one. I know I watched one of the Riddick movies in the theater, but I need to watch through that whole series because I'm not super familiar with it at this point. And Two Guns with Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. Looks like a fun action movie. Hell or High Water. I remember watching this one in the theater. Almost has a little bit of an indie feel, but pretty good bank heist type movie. Snake Eyes. I enjoyed watching that one in the theater too. That was a lot of fun. And Birds of Prey. I kind of enjoyed this one when I saw it in the theater. Not my favorite in the DC universe, but not a terrible movie. Same with Suicide Squad. I had some appreciation for this one, while it's also not my favorite of DC's movies. Good cast of characters and actors there. The Northman. This one has some cool visuals, some great, vibrant visuals, as well as nice contrast. So it's a good 4K release. As far as the story itself, I thought it was just all right. A little slower for my taste, but not terrible. And we got Iron Man 2 next here. Got to have all of those Marvel movies in my 4K collection if possible. I got Morbius, which is actually a lenticular slipcover copy here. So that one has a pretty cool effect. I enjoyed that movie also more than most people do. I had fun watching that one in the theater. Then here we have Ex Machina, I believe is how it's pronounced, with a slipcover. And that one I watched on streaming way back. Thought it was an alright movie, but wanted to see what the 4K release is like. And Prey. This is also a slipcover one I picked up recently from Half Price Books. I haven't actually watched this one yet, but I've heard very good things about this one, so we'll have to give that a try. And just picked this up recently. These next ones are going to be ones I picked up very recently in one of my hauls. This is Rambo 3, so I'm trying to get through buying all the Rambo movies on 4K. And next is Shadow. I wanted to watch this mainly for the visuals. I don't know too much about it, but I've heard it has some nice visuals on the 4K release. Here is Doctor Strange. That's one of the great series in the Marvel Universe. Pretty unique. Same as Shang-Chi. This was an interesting new addition to the MCU. I enjoyed some of the visual effects here and some of the dragons and everything. Jupiter Ascending. Not very familiar with this one. I've heard of it before. I don't think I've seen it, but I'll be giving that one a shot on 4K too. And here we have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, classic martial arts movie. And Ghostbusters Afterlife, one of the better ones in the Ghostbusters series. Happy to have found that one recently. Then, of course, we have Black Widow on 4K, as I'm trying to complete the MCU collection here. And Gladiator, not a bad Russell Crowe movie. Mayhem, don't know a lot about this one, but I enjoy the cast here. Push with the slipcover. I know this one gets a lot of hate as well. I had this one on Blu-ray previously, but wanted to upgrade to the 4K because it was like $2 or $3 I got this for. And the original Creed movie on 4K with a slipcover. Be watching that whole series once I have all those on 4K. And I also got Star Wars Attack of the Clones on 4K. Hope I'll get all the Star Wars movies soon. Here's the original Shazam on 4K. Liam Neeson in Cold Pursuit. I've seen that one before, not a bad one. And I was very excited to find this one recently. Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in a Shell. Very excited to see what that one looks like on 4K with the visuals and everything. And this one is the most recent Flash movie. I got that one for like $10 when I was on a trip recently. Thought that was a pretty good deal for this modern movie. And Battleship. I previously had this on Blu-ray but wanted to upgrade to the 4K. Don't know if I've seen that one yet, but it looks like it has some cool scenes. Here is Alien Covenant. Love the Alien series. Definitely want to have all of those on 4K if possible in the future. And Hunter Killer. Heard some good things about the visuals and the audio in this one. But I'll have to give it a try. Then we have Bloodshot, another Vin Diesel movie here. I watched this one in the theater when it came out and enjoyed it, so happy to have that 4K release. And I recently picked up Expendables 4 for a good deal. Haven't seen it yet, though. Now I have that whole series. And Hurricane Heist. I enjoyed that one a lot in the theater. Reminded me a lot of Fast and Furious, so happy to have that one too. A lot of fun to watch that. All right, then we have the whole James Bond collection here. So this is every movie that was ever made in the James Bond series, all on Blu-ray. This is the beginning of the walkthrough of my regular 1080p Blu-rays in my collection. And I was excited to find this used for a great deal at half-price books, to where I paid well under $2 per movie by getting this box set. So that's an awesome deal. Probably be a while before I rewatch any of these movies, but still an incredible find. Then Greenland. This is one of my favorite Gerard Butler movies, as well as one of my favorite kind of disaster movies. A lot of fun to watch this one. It's unfortunate there hasn't been a 4K release at this point, but I really do enjoy this movie and would recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. Then here we have G.I. Jane. I picked this one up cheap at a library sale. It was, I believe, only $1. Then I also have Red Dawn. This one has Chris Hemsworth. Not super familiar with it, but another action movie I'll have to check out. Kick-Ass. I really enjoy both of the Kick-Ass movies. This one was a lot of fun. Great cast, great plot, great action. Really enjoy that one. Good comedy. And The Mechanic. Been a while since I've seen this one, so I want to watch both of those movies again soon with Jason Statham. And here is not the best copy. It's got kind of some peeling plastic, but copy of the movie Lucy. It's a pretty good female-led action movie. Scarlett Johansson. And the movie Red. Got a great cast in this one. Been quite a while since I've seen it, but both the Red movies are pretty good. And here is Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader 3D. I don't have a 3D Blu-ray player or capable TV. Or I guess I do have a Blu-ray player that plays 3D, just not a TV that recognizes it. But I just picked this up because it was a good deal for a Blu-ray, even if I can't play the 3D version. And here is Robin Hood with Kevin Costner. Here is Wanted. No, that one's been around for a while. Been a long time since I've seen that one. And here's Bruce Willis in Surrogates. Don't know a lot about that one. And we have From Paris with Love. Another one I'm not very familiar with that I got a good deal on. And Death Race 2 unrated. Death Race series is a lot of fun. They kind of changed up the cast throughout all those movies, but I enjoy those. A lot of good action in them. I think I might have the whole series at this point, actually. Here we have House of Flying Daggers. Not very familiar with this one, but I enjoy some of the martial arts type movies. Here is Honest Thief, another good Liam Neeson movie. I enjoy his movies quite a bit, even though they get a lot of hate. Slipcover copy of The Gunman, Sean Penn. Not very familiar with that one, but another good deal on action movie I got. Side Effects. This one seemed like it could belong to multiple genres. Haven't given that one a try yet. Seemed like a good cast. Here is Lies and Illusions. Don't know a lot about that one. Here's a triple pack. It's got Steven Seagal in Driven to Kill, Chuck Norris in The President's Man, Too Young to Die with Brad Pitt. I think I got a really good deal on all of those 3 movies in this pack. Here is Aeon Flix, if I'm pronouncing that right. Not sure how to pronounce that actually, but or Aeon Flux, something like that. Charlie's Throne. Don't know if I've ever seen that one, but I know one's been around quite a while. Public Enemies. Another multi-pack with Friday, Menace to Society, and Set It Off. Been a long time since I've seen Friday, but it's not a bad deal in this pack. Watchmen Director's Cut. Book of Eli, great action movie there. Tiger House. I think if I remember right, I might have actually gotten this one at the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. Underdog. Boxing story. Here's a Danny Trejo multi-pack with Border Cross and Cage of Glory. Hammer of the Gods. This one has an interesting looking slipcover. And then a couple kind of disaster movies that are probably low budget. Weather Wars and Miami Magma. Haven't watched those. Here we have Cage Fighter. Looked interesting. Tactical Force. Steve Austin. V for Vendetta. In the Valley of Ella. 44-inch chest. I Am Vengeance Retaliation. G.I. Joe Retaliation. In the Name of the King 3, The Last Mission. I like Dominic Purcell. Harrison Ford in Patriot Games. The Knowing, with Nicolas Cage. That was an interesting movie. Probably one of Nicolas Cage's better ones, I think. Django Unchained. Here I have Star Wars The Force Awakens and regular Blu-ray. And here I have Guns, Girls, and Gambling. Haven't watched that one yet, but I got that one for only a couple bucks, I think. Alright, next shelf here. I'm going to start with some of these I have on top that I got recently that I'm going to try out and decide if I keep or not. We got Jason Statham in Chaos. Steve Austin, The Condemned. Battle of the Damned, sci-fi movie. Alien Armageddon. Pride and Glory. And The Prince with Bruce Willis. So those ones I had up there separate just because I got those recently. I might want to watch them soon, or even a chance I might return them at some point. And here I have the Boondock Saints All Saints Day. Haven't watched that yet. We have here Killer Elite. Jason Statham. Here I have Survivor. We Were Soldiers. Red Stone. The Marine 3. Another one that's did a lot of cast change up in that series. Ninja Assassin with a slipcover. Elysium. This is one I wouldn't mind having on 4K if possible. War. Jason Statham and Jet Li. Good matchup there. Cameron Diaz in The Box. Sentinel. It's got Michael Douglas. George Clooney in The American. 12 Rounds 2 Reloaded. Then next up I have Transporter 3. I believe I have all of this series at this point as well. One of Jason Statham's better series, I think. And we have Owen Wilson and No Escape. This was an interesting movie where they're trying to survive violence in a foreign country. X-Men The Last Stand. Not a big fan of the X-Men series overall, but still wanted to have these in my collection as they were alright. Warning Shot, the slipcover. This one looks like an interesting premise. Hercules with Dwayne Johnson. Don't think I've seen that one yet. Hannah. This one also has a slipcover. Point Break. Good action-packed movie that got a remake, I believe. I, Robot. Another one that I don't think has a 4K release, but that should have a 4K release because that was a great Will Smith movie. Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. I remember that being a pretty good one years ago. Tarzan, or Legend of Tarzan. If I remember right, this one has a little bit of a slow pacing and wasn't my favorite, but still one I wanted to hold on to. Real Steel with Hugh Jackman. I love this movie. This movie is a lot of fun, had a great soundtrack in it. I really enjoyed that one. Then next here we have another multi-pack. Label's not in the best condition, but this one has Taylor Lautner in Abduction, Ashton Kutcher in Killers, and that movie Push, which I recently got a 4K copy of. Paranoia. I think I remember seeing this one in the theater. Wasn't too bad. Run All Night. Another one I think I saw in the theater with Liam Neeson. Steve Austin, Hunt to Kill. And another multi-pack with Daredevil with Ben Affleck, Elektra, and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Not a bad Blu-ray multi-pack there. And of course, Sharknado I picked up recently. Fun movie. Takers. Hardcore Henry. That was a pretty unique filming style for that movie. All Is Lost. Robert Redford. Death Race 3, Inferno, unrated. Kill Bill Volume 2. Recently I was excited to get Kill Bill Volume 1 as well. Parker. Haywire. Act of Vengeance. The Great Magician. X-Men Origins Wolverine with a slipcover. X-Men Days of Future Past with the slipcover. I remember seeing that one in the theater. X-Men First Class I saw in the theater too. Untraceable. And we got Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal. Creed 2. Still need to find this one on 4K. Tom Cruise and the Last Samurai. Classic movie there. And Alex Cross. And then we have Left Behind with Nicolas Cage. Not the best movie ever, but could be worse too. All right, next up down here, I have a copy of Beyond Skyline. Looked like an interesting sci-fi one. Got a Riddick multi-pack here. I wanted to rewatch those, so I was happy to find that multi-pack that's got Riddick. It's got, or let me see here, actually. I want to remind myself what's in this one. Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick. Plus the Chronicles of Riddick and Dark Fury. So, yeah, I'll have to watch through those again soon. And R.I.P.D. with the slipcover. I remember watching this one on streaming. That was a fun movie. Enjoyed that quite a bit. Gravity. I don't know why this one hasn't gotten a 4K release. That's one that really should. Total Recall with Colin Farrell slipcover. Pretty cool. The Fifth Wave. Haven't watched this one. I know this one got a 4K release too, so if it's decent, I might consider getting the 4K later. Here we have Babylon AD with Vin Diesel. Haven't seen that one yet, but I enjoy Vin Diesel's movies. Sucker Punch. Branded. The Day the Earth Stood Still. Battle Los Angeles in a steelbook form. We got Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter 3D with a slipcover. 2010, The Year You Made Contact. Need to watch that one after watching 2001: A Space Odyssey. Matt Damon in Hereafter. Shadow Effect with the slipcover. Priest unrated. Skyline. District 9. I did enjoy District 9. I don't remember if that one has a 4K release, but that would be one I probably wouldn't mind having on 4K. Cloud Atlas. Aragon. Limitless. I love this movie. One of my favorite Blu-rays probably. Here we have a Matrix box set on Blu-ray. Interesting cover there. This has Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolution, and it has some special features as well. You have The Fifth Element, Man on a Ledge, The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon, American Sniper, great story in that one. Steven Seagal 5-film collection. It has Attrition, Driven to Kill, Kill Switch, Mercenary for Justice, and Today You Die. Nicolas Cage in Bangkok Dangerous. Eagle Eye. Armored. The Marine 4 Moving Target. Tears of the Sun, got that one recently. Mega Shark vs. Octopus, another recent pickup. Argo. Max Payne Unrated. G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, with a slipcover. Bullet, Steve McQueen. Original Ghostbusters on Blu-ray. Pacific Rim with a lenticular slipcover. That's a pretty cool cover on that one. The Hunger Games. Here is a 3D copy of Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Another lenticular slipcover. I think that was a Best Buy exclusive. Hansel and Gretel unrated cut. Inception. Have a multi-pack here, the Alien Quadrilogy, if that's how it's pronounced. Has Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. In Time, this is another hidden gem kind of movie, I think. Has Justin Timberlake, really unique concept of this movie. I love this one. All right, next row here, starting out with Lucky Number 11. Then we have Once Fallen. Don't know much about that one. Brothers Grimm. Interested in that one. Hard Kill. I think this is one of Bruce Willis's more recent movies. Then we have The Pirates of Somalia. Nicolas Cage in Stolen. Dark City. Another kind of random sci-fi movie. Inside Man with Clive Owen and Denzel Washington. Hard Rain with Morgan Freeman. The Experiment. Grindhouse with Death Proof and Planet Terror. Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Classic movie there. We got Gangster Squad. Don't know much about this one, but it's got Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Flight of the Phoenix. Rush Lights. The Departed. DiCaprio movie there. Apocalypse Earth. I got this one pretty cheap at a Goodwill just to try it out. Young Guns. Here's that Furious 7 Steelbook I mentioned earlier that I'm keeping just because I like having a Steelbook for it. Archangel with the slipcover. Columbiana. Triple X, one of my favorite Vin Diesel movies there. Love that one. And this is a special one here, Escape Room. So this one I watched in the theater when it originally came out, and it just has a really cool, unique concept for a horror thriller kind of movie that involves a group of young people go into an escape room, and so many things go wrong in the escape room, and there's a twist at the end, and they made a sequel to this movie too, which I also saw in the theater and picked up recently, and they're both great movies I would highly recommend that are kind of underrated. Then A Good Day to Die Hard. This is the one I didn't have in that collection I picked up recently. Faster with Dwayne Johnson. Contraband with Mark Wahlberg. Transporter 2, gotta have that whole series. Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal. Kidnap with Halle Berry. Snow White and the Huntsman. Unknown and Edge of Darkness double feature here. Good deal on that one. This Means War, that's a super fun movie. And Twister. This is a classic movie that I watched many times during my childhood. I remember this came out years ago, and I think I watched it on VHS and then DVD, and now I have it on Blu-ray. Looking forward to the sequel that's coming out soon too as well. And Ultraviolet. Hitman Unrated. I haven't really watched the Hitman movies, but they look interesting. 10,000 BC. Looks like that could have some cool action in it. Noah. Just picked that up recently. Rush. One of the car movies I haven't seen yet. 2012. This is one I enjoyed quite a bit, even though it's kind of controversial. Not everyone likes this one very much. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I Am Legend. Classic Will Smith. White House Down. Good series there. I enjoyed those a lot. The Host. Don't think I've seen this one recently, at least. The Bank Job with Jason Statham. Love all his movies. Sicario, Day of the Soldado. The slipcover on that one. And Nonstop with Liam Neeson. This is one of the earliest Blu-rays I picked up for my collection many years ago. Same with this one, Need for Speed. Classic car movie with Aaron Paul. I picked this one up years ago as well as one of the first Blu-rays in my collection. Then we have Savages. And last of this row, I have Cop Out with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan. Funny one there. All right, now for the next shelf. Here I have some on top that I'm going to share first. So, got this one recently, Dino Croc versus Super Gator. Looks like a pretty crazy one. Act of Vengeance. DiCaprio and Crow and Body of Lies. Frozen Ground with Nicolas Cage. 1517 to Paris. Escape Plan, trying to get that whole series, is The Extractors. And this Bruce Willis Die Hard combo pack, or collection I got recently, that has Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and Live Free or Die Hard. I love that whole series. Alright, then a few more here I got recently. Ong Bak 2, Dead Man Down, and Kite. Still need to give those a try, decide if I'm going to keep them. Same with this one, The Monster. Don't know much about that one either. Alright, so first of all here, we have a slipcover copy of Nitro Circus 3D. Love the Nitro Circus movie, it's pretty cool. Then I have Vice with Bruce Willis. I have The Call with Halle Berry. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. I watched that recently. It's a good one. Then I have Safe House. This one has Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds. Trespass. I watched that one pretty recently too, I believe, and not a bad movie. We have Unhinged with Russell Crowe. I actually saw that one in a drive-in movie theater in 2020, and that was a pretty cool movie. The Lookout. Looper. Abandoned. RoboCop. I've been wanting to watch this one soon. I haven't actually seen this one yet, but I've really been wanting to watch that one. Then A Knight's Tale. Tombstone. The Sum of All Fears. Redemption. The International. 88 Minutes. Donnie Brasco and We Own the Night. The Number Station. Killing Season. Lord of War with Nicolas Cage. Brick Mansions with Paul Walker. I love Paul Walker's movies. Hit and Run. The Commuter, another decent Liam Neeson one. The Brave One with Jodie Foster, good actress. American Assassin. Here you have Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1. Brooklyn's Finest. Stallone and Bullet to the Head. Salt with Angelina Jolie. Been years since I watched that one. SWAT. Rescue Dawn. Crank 2 High Voltage, another good Statham series. The original Equalizer with a slipcover. The Poseidon Adventure. The Great Escape. Hunger Games Catching Fire. Mile 22. The Hurt Locker. The original Boondock Saints. Rampart. The Wolverine. The Son of No One. Born to Race. This is another kind of underrated car movie that I really enjoy. That's kind of comparable to the Fast and Furious in some ways, but I really enjoyed this one. Trust. Sacrifice. Broken City. Nerve. Now this one I have a Blu-ray slipcover copy of. I really love this movie. This is an incredible one. Another one that I wish had a 4K release. Just a super awesome concept with this one. Super fun movie to watch. I highly recommend that one if you haven't seen it. Surveillance. And Nightcrawler with the slipcover. This is another one I've had in my collection for years. One of the first ones I got, and I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Pretty unique. Moving on to the next Blu-ray row. On top here I have Lila and Eve, picked up that one recently. Then I have IT. This was a tough one to find on Blu-ray.com just because of that spelled or something. Then I have The Big Hit. We have 3 Days to Kill, Kevin Costner movie. Triage. The Spirit. Tower Heist. Machine Gun Preacher, picked up that pretty recently. Seventh Son. The Astronaut's Wife. American Hustle. Heart's War with Bruce Willis and Colin Farrell. Cowboys vs. Aliens, or Cowboys and Aliens, sorry. That's a fun movie to watch. City Slickers. Interstellar on Blu-ray with a slipcover. This is definitely one I'd like to upgrade to 4K at some point. Then I have two Steelbooks here. First I have the Maze Runner Blu-ray with a Steelbook. I got that from Best Buy years ago. Love those movies. And the Scorch Trials, just as cool of a Steelbook. We've got Hancock, good Will Smith movie. Chronicle, that was an interesting one, kind of a found footage style. Divergent. Super 8, that was pretty interesting. Star Trek with a slipcover. Dracula Untold. Green Lantern Extended Cut. That movie got a lot of hate, but still a little entertaining, I think. And here's another one I've watched for years and enjoyed, The Day After Tomorrow. It's a classic disaster movie, one of my favorites. Sanctum. The Kid. Act of Valor, classic war movie. Species, I got a pretty good deal on that one. The Original Transporter. 300, Rise of an Empire. I haven't watched that sequel yet. It's a slipcover copy, but I did watch the original one on 4K. Never Back Down, another classic. Atia. Homefront, pretty good Statham movie. Get the Gringo with Mel Gibson. The Manchurian Candidate. Gamer, Gerard Butler. This is another triple feature. 7, Copycat and Taking Lives. And then this is a cool Steelbook I found. It's a Taken 3 movie collection on Blu-ray, so it has 3 of the movies in there. I wanted to get rid of my individual copies for that because it's a cool Steelbook and save some space. Ghost Rider collection, so it's got Ghost Rider and the sequel to Ghost Rider, Spirit of, what does that say? Spirit of Vengeance. Haven't watched those in years. Black and Blue, this is probably one of my favorite cop movies of all time. I really love this one. I saw this in the theater and just really enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen that one yet, highly, highly recommend that one. Cloverfield, pretty cool one. Way of War. Once Upon a Time in Venice. I actually got this at the Dollar Tree. Face Off and Snake Eyes. I actually got this at a Big Lots, pretty cheap. Then we have two movies here, Michael Keaton and One Good Cop and A Stranger Among Us. Then we have The Hunger Games Part 2, Mockingjay, and we have Inferno. Now moving on to the last row of Blu-rays, I have Jumper. Then over here I have Dangerous with a slipcover. World War Z, one I'd like to get on 4K eventually, but it's pretty expensive right now, so I got this cheap. The A-Team. Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 Judgment Day and Total Recall. The Gray with Liam Neeson. Carlito's Way. Law Abiding Citizen. Sleepless with Jamie Foxx. Olympus Has Fallen. Drive with Ryan Gosling. Den of Thieves, one of my favorite heist movies of all time. That one's a lot of fun to watch. That's slipcover on that one. Bulletproof Monk, just got that recently. All the Devil's Men. Spy Game and State of Play in a combo pack. Sharktopus, looks like a silly movie I picked up from Goodwill. Serenity. Lone Survivor, great story there. Original Death Race, the one that has Jason Statham in it. Vehicle 19 with Paul Walker. This one has Bruce Willis in Hostage and in Setup. We have Morgan Freeman in The Code. Henry's Crime with Keanu Reeves. Spider-Man 3. A Few Good Men, classic movie. Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow. I haven't watched that in years, but I got this for, I believe it was $1 at a library sale. Good deal. On the Job with the slipcover. Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Green Zone with Matt Damon. Beirut, I think that's how it's pronounced. Rush Hour, this is a collection here, so this has the whole trilogy in it. Category 7, random disaster movie. Sin City, looks like that has a pretty unique filming style there. Braving with Jason Momoa. Wire Room, the slipcover, another Bruce Willis movie. Supercell, also a slipcover. Gods of Egypt. The Forbidden Kingdom, Jackie Chan movie. 21, I enjoy that movie quite a bit. Gundala with a slipcover, haven't watched that yet. Kill Bill Volume 1, looking forward to watching those. The System, that's one with Tyrese Gibson. We got Sabotage, one of the more recent movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. We have Red 2. We have 5 Days of War. Freelancers. Getaway, looks like a fun one. I remember watching this one years ago too. And Red Riding Hood, alternate cut, looks interesting. Right now I brightened up this area to show you the DVDs I have down here. So we have Firewall with Harrison Ford there. We have Red Heat with Schwarzenegger. Dead Space Downfall. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Denzel Washington, Man on Fire. The Legend of Zorro, it's the original movie. I got the second one on 4K recently. Vantage Point. The Scorpion King with The Rock. Active Stealth. X2, X-Men United. Absalon. Flags of Our Fathers, Catch Me If You Can, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, Ocean's 13, Master and Commander with Russell Crowe, Ocean's 11, Stealth, Damage with Steve Austin, Desert Heat with Van Damme, Prolonged Exposure, The Italian Job, classic movie there, The Musketeer, Star Wars The Phantom Menace, Star Wars 2 Attack of the Clones, Upside Down. This is a movie I love that I wouldn't mind getting in a higher format that's kind of underrated. Good mixture of kind of like sci-fi, drama, and romance. Artificial Intelligence, Daybreakers, Sahara, Fracture. Then we got a Star Wars trilogy here. It's a box set that has 3 of the movies in it. And Black Hawk Down. I actually need to pull this one out because I got that one on 4K recently. Then The Devil's Own, The Interpreter, and Armageddon, another Bruce Willis classic. All right, now for the last shelf of my action movie collection. So these are all DVDs. First of all, we have The Godfather, the Coppola restoration. I eventually might consider getting these on the 4K format, but I actually haven't watched the Godfather movie, so I'm going to try them out here first, see if I want to do the upgrade to 4K or not. Then here we have Breakout. Looks like an interesting cast on this one, so I think I got this pretty cheap just to try it out. Then here we have the original Rocky. Here we have Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. I have Bad Boys for Life on 4K as I showed earlier, so eventually might want to see if I can get these on 4K. Here I have Panic Room with Jodie Foster. I enjoyed this movie. From what I understand, this one's only available on DVD, which is interesting. It's a good movie. And then here's Escape Plan, the original. Bruce Willis and The Sixth Sense, the Vista series. Blood Diamond, classic movie. Batman versus Robin. Sorry, Batman and Robin, not versus Robin, but the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. High Crimes. The Da Vinci Code. Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Then we have Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle. We have Jennifer Lopez in Enough. Have Tom Jane and John Travolta in The Punisher. Been a lot of Punisher movies. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Navy SEALs. Original RoboCop trilogy. Then Blade 1 through 4, I guess. Not super familiar with the Blade movies, but I know there's a new one coming from what I understand. Australia. Half Past Dead. Speed Racer. Troy. Hollywood Homicide. Basic. The Missing. The November Man. Night Passage. Radio Flash. Now this is another underrated one. I watched this one time on a streaming service or something like that, and I really enjoyed this one. It's kind of a interesting, almost post-apocalyptic thriller type movie. This is one I really enjoyed, and I think it might only be available on DVD, but definitely check this one out if you haven't seen it. Deceived. Vanishing Point. Freeway with Kiefer Sutherland. And The Skulls with Paul Walker. Gotta check that one out still since I like Paul Walker's movies. Right, now for this bottom part, we have Catwoman over here, Halle Berry's movie. The Matador. Collateral Damage with Schwarzenegger, Derailed, City by the Sea, Shoot 'em Up, Confidence, Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson, Into the Blue with Paul Walker, Garrison, Battle in Seattle, Blockbuster exclusive, Men of Honor for Robert De Niro, The Abyss, the special edition, White Squall, Unbreakable, the Vista series, Cradle to the Grave 2, Unstoppable, that's a really good movie that I'll probably want to upgrade at some point to Blu-ray. The Original Marine, Imperium, Agent Cody Banks, classic movie from my childhood. Spider-Man, love that movie. Spider-Man 2 with the slipcover, not a bad sequel. Agent Cody Banks 2. Peppermint, got this one from the Dollar Tree. Assassination Nation. Escape Plan 2. Moonraker, need to take that one out because I have the Blu-ray collection for James Bond. Shaft, another one from the Dollar Tree. Journey to the Center of the Earth. 21 Bridges, it's a library copy there. Mega Piranha, silly movie. Die Another Day, gotta take that one out because of my Blu-ray collection. All Creatures Here Below. Jet Li and Hero, Quentin Tarantino movie, and it's got a slipcover. Gone in 60 Seconds, classic Cage movie. Running Scared with Paul Walker, gotta watch that one soon. Beast of Burden with Daniel Radcliffe. And The Negotiator. So I just had a few more videos I wanted to add in for the action shelf walkthrough here that I found on one of my other shelves after I finished recording everything else. So first of all, we have Black Hawk Down here. I'm looking forward to watching this one on 4K because I picked this one up at a pretty good deal from Facebook Marketplace at one point, and I've been excited to watch that one because I know that's a great movie. Then we have here the Twilight Saga New Moon. Slight, this is one of my favorite movies of all time as well. Awesome kind of action drama movie with a unique spin. So if you haven't seen this one, I really highly recommend that one. And then this one here is Chappie on 4K. This is another one of my first 4Ks I've ever gotten in my collection, and I love this movie as well. It's a really cool concept and a really fun movie to watch. And then here we have Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I really enjoy how the Kingsman movies look on the 4K format. Very bright and vibrant, great soundtrack and everything. So definitely worth getting those on the 4K format. All right, so here are some of my action Funko Pops. You can see I have a big Darth Vader Funko here. I have the lights and sound Darth Vader here. So this one, if you push his head, he lights up and makes noise. And then down below we have a few other Star Wars Funko Pops, C-3PO, R2-D2, Chewbacca, Jar Jar Binks. Have some of the Mandalorian Funko Pops here. And then some of the Harry Potter Pops here. And my wand for my trip to Universal Studios. So just want to give you guys a quick look at those. All right, so we're starting with my 4Ks in my horror section here. And I have some Steelbooks here, as you can see. So starting out with the first one here, this one is Kill Her Goats in Steelbook form on the 4K format. And pretty nice looking Steelbook. This one also had some extras included with it, including some pictures from the movie and different few artistic things they included inside the package. So that's a pretty cool one. Not my favorite horror movie ever, but it's kind of cool packaging and everything. Then next we have an Arrow 4K release here. This is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein featuring Robert De Niro. And this I was pleasantly surprised by. So this one has some pretty nice special features included with it, as many Arrow releases do. So this is a very old film, and they actually have a even older black and white film that they have like in the special features. That's kind of what this is based on. It's a silent film, so that was kind of a cool special feature. But Arrow did well with restoring this and making a good 4K release. So I do highly recommend this one if you enjoy older horror movies or anything related to Frankenstein. This was a pretty good one. Then next here we have Army of Darkness. This is a really awesome steelbook. I always thought, though, that the front of this steelbook is interesting because that guy on the front really doesn't look like Ash. To me, he almost looks like Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but the art is really cool here. It's kind of reflective. And then the back has really awesome art as well. So if you're a fan of the Evil Dead franchise, I highly recommend not only Army of Darkness, but this steelbook and getting it on the 4K format. Then this is another steelbook I really love here in terms of 4K horror movies. This is Smile. It was a great movie I saw in the theater, and this steelbook is cool because it has a slipcover. And so just a moment here. When you pull out the actual steelbook, you can see in here there's the lady's face, so kind of a cool effect that steelbook has. And then it has some pictures on the back, so not a bad slipcover with that one as well. Then here we have Evil Dead Rise. This is a pretty creepy movie, and this is part of the Warner 100 release with this slipcover release. Watched this one not too long ago, and you know, it's cool. They're continuing the Evil Dead series on. This one definitely doesn't have any comedy in it, but it's very much a horror movie. Then I got this pretty recently. This is the original Scream movie on 4K in a steelbook here. I think they did a pretty good job of that steelbook. Shows off Ghostface really well. And then here is my Evil Dead Groovy collection, my favorite box set in my entire movie collection. This one kind of opens up, and then inside it has Ash with the shotgun, and then it almost opens up like a hardcover storybook where it has all the different discs for all the movies that are included, as well as the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV series. So I really like that box set. All right, moving on to the second shelf here. We have A Quiet Place, another one of my favorite horror movies. Really awesome on the 4K format here. And A Quiet Place Part 2, that one has a slipcover. If you somehow haven't seen the Quiet Place series, I highly, highly recommend both of those. They're incredible. And Dr. Sleep, if you don't know already, this one is kind of a continuation from the original Shining movie. And this is a pretty long movie. I saw it in the theater, but it was really interesting. I think it was an interesting kind of follow-up to The Shining, and I did enjoy watching it. And here is The Shining. You know, that's a pretty long and kind of slow-paced movie, but it is a classic, and I do enjoy it. I think Stanley Kubrick did a good job with that one. And this is a nice double feature. It has Us and Get Out, both incredible Jordan Peele movies, and so I highly recommend both of those. I think these are actually the two movies that Jordan Peele came out with that are his best. The movies that come out since then I haven't been as big of a fan of, but I really did enjoy both of these horror movies. And Happy Death Day, this one is kind of a classic slasher for me. I really enjoy the costumes and the characters and the comedy they put in here, and just really enjoyed that movie. I've watched it multiple times. I watched it in the theater, and another one I would highly recommend. Then I have Happy Death Day 2. It wasn't a bad sequel. Both those movies I really enjoy, and if you liked the Scream series, I think you would like these. Here I have Don't Breathe 2. I enjoyed both of those movies a lot as well. Kind of an interesting spin on a slasher kind of thing with the blind man. I enjoyed those. And Hellfest, this one's pretty underrated, I think. I really enjoyed both this movie and then the 4K release as well. They're both great. I saw this in the theater originally and thought it was an incredible slasher with an incredible concept. And it is a great 4K release, too, that has some vibrant visuals and a great audio soundtrack. And you can see on the front here, it says it's from the executive producer of The Walking Dead, which is cool. And there's some pretty brutal scenes in this one. And just the whole concept of kind of a slasher and amusement park is fun. And then my favorite horror movie of all time, well, one of my favorite movies of all time, It Chapter 1. I would say It Chapter 2 is actually probably my favorite of all time, but this is just an incredible movie. I think there's few other horror movies like it, and I think this is just one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. And what I loved about It Chapter 2 here, and this is a nice slipcover on this 4K release, what I loved about the second one here is just how they incorporated so many creatures and monsters into the visuals of this movie, and they chose a great cast to represent older versions of the kids from the original movie, and Pennywise is just such an incredible character, and there's so many things I love about this series, and It Chapter 1 and 2 are definitely my two favorite horror movies of all time. And then The Invisible Man, the slipcover, another really fun movie. This one I think is kind of a horror movie, but also kind of a thriller movie, and has a really incredible concept, really incredible visual effects here. And I've watched this multiple times too, and another one I'd highly recommend. And here's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. A lot of people see this one as kind of a classic movie with Donald Sutherland, and this is actually kind of a remake from an older version. But I watched this one, and in terms of the 4K release, it wasn't super impressive to me in terms of visuals or anything, but there are a couple funny scenes I enjoyed in this one, and yeah, I would say if you enjoy this type of movie and some of these older horror movies, you'd appreciate this one. Here is I Know What You Did Last Summer. I got the original here on 4K from Best Buy and watched it for the first time on this format and enjoyed it quite a bit. I kind of enjoy the mystery of this movie, and I look forward to watching the other movies in this series too, because I really enjoyed this one. So pretty good 4K release. And here is Megan. This was so much fun to watch in the theater. So this is a slipcover on this 4K release, and this is just a really fun horror movie that kind of takes influence from movies like Chucky, for example, or the Child's Play series. And so if you haven't seen this one yet, another one I would highly, highly recommend, because it has some good humor in it. It's just a lot of fun to watch. And here's the not the original Halloween. This is one of the modern Halloween movies from that newer trilogy they came out with, and this one's still sealed. They got this one on a good deal, I think, from Groove maybe, but I'd enjoyed all the modern Halloween movies. And then here's Halloween Ends Collector's Edition with the slipcover. Another one I really enjoyed. You can kind of feel Michael Myers' face on this one. It's kind of cool. Here is The Shallows, another thriller kind of horror movie I enjoyed. This one is Blake Lively, and it's she's a surfer who's kind of trying to survive a shark attack, so enjoyed that. And here is the original Halloween. This is one of the original Halloween releases. A lot of people say this one isn't the better release because there's another collector's edition that came out that was potentially somewhat better and has slightly different visuals, but I watched this one. I thought it was pretty good. Not a bad way to watch the original Halloween. And here's Halloween Kills, another great modern one. And Pet Sematary. I may have watched this at one point, but I haven't watched it recently, so I'll probably want to give this one a try again. Another classic Stephen King horror story. And here's Tammy and the T-Rex. I haven't watched this one recently or on the 4K format, but it has Paul Walker, who I love, and I originally actually heard about this movie and watched part of this movie from the video game High on Life, where they had some movie clips in those games, or you could actually watch some of these whole movies in that game, but that's how I originally heard about this and wanted to have my own copy of it, so I picked this up at Half Price Books at one point, but definitely recommend this one for an older comedy horror. Here's American Psycho with a slipcover. This was some of a disturbing movie, but I kind of appreciate how they made it and how you're kind of throughout the movie hearing things from the mind of the main character. So pretty unique style for this one. I did enjoy it to some degree, but it's also a disturbing movie. And here's Upgrade, one of my favorite Blumhouse movies ever. I watched this one multiple times when it was in the theater and was happy to eventually find this 4K copy of it at Half Price Books. So if you haven't seen this one, another one I'd highly recommend. And that is all the 4Ks in my horror section. So now we're moving on to another box set here. This is the Friday the 13th collection. It's the deluxe edition from Scream Factory, and I've started watching through a few of these. I think I've watched 3 of them at this point, and I have to say the visuals in these are not the best, but this collection here on these Blu-rays is probably the best you can get for this series. So it has some cool artwork on the front here, as you can see, and I do enjoy the concept of this series. Then next we have the Critters Collection. This is another Blu-ray collection that I picked up from Half Price Books, and haven't started watching these yet, but I got a pretty good deal on that collection too. All right, now we're moving down to the next row of Blu-rays here. So, first one on this shelf, we have Quarantine. Don't know too much about that movie. Then we have Outpost. House of Wax. This is an incredible movie. Highly recommend you get the Blu-ray copy of this one and give it a watch. It's a very unique concept, a lot of fun, well beyond its time, I think, and another one of my favorite horror movies. Here we have Silent House. Got that one at Rasputin for a good deal, but haven't watched it yet. And Strangers Pray at Night. That's a really fun series. That's kind of a slasher series. I know they have a new one coming out in the theater very soon here that I'm looking forward to. Here is The Thompsons. Don't know a lot about that one. Everfall. Not super familiar with that one as well, but another one I got pretty inexpensive. Apollo 18, I believe I watched this one at one point. It's kind of a sci-fi thriller. Here is The Call. There's actually multiple movies with the same title across different genres, but I haven't watched this one yet, but another one I picked up cheap, I think, at the Dollar Tree. Here is the Purge 5-movie collection. I know some of these are out on 4K, which would be cool to have, but I was pretty happy with the deal I got on this whole collection on Blu-ray through Amazon during a sale, and I love the whole Purge series. It's such a unique and fun series to watch. You know, it's a pretty unique concept that's, in my opinion, kind of unlike anything else I've seen, so I enjoy those movies a lot. Distorted, not super familiar with that one either, but looked like an interesting trailer. Here we have Paranormal Activity 2, probably one of the better found footage type series. Here is Secret Window with Johnny Depp. Haven't watched that one yet. Here is Alone. This one you could tell is somewhat of an indie one or a lower budget one, but I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely a thriller type movie, and it really keeps you on the edge of your seat, so I enjoy watching that one quite a bit. Here is Rings. All the Ring movies I think are pretty good. Kind of follow a continuous story. And here is Winter's Bone. Don't know a lot about that one, but one I should watch soon. And here's Poltergeist. I believe this is like a modern remake. And here is 47 Meters Down. Another cool shark movie. I enjoy what they did with this one. And again, it's kind of a low budget thriller type movie, but I think they did really well with both of these movies in terms of kind of the elements they added to both of them to make this stand out. Right here, 47 Meters Uncaged is different because I believe in the first one what it was is they go diving in cages to protect them from sharks. In this one, they're not in the cages, so it makes it a slightly different type of film, but they're both a lot of fun to watch as thrillers. Here's Unsane. Haven't watched that one yet, but I think that's more of a psychological thriller. Ghost Team 1. This one's more comedy horror. I think I got this from the Dollar Tree as well. Still have to watch that. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's the slipcover. This is a Guillermo del Toro movie, and I enjoy this one a lot. It has some great kind of creature feature visuals, and it's a nice creepy one to watch. Then here we have Return to Sender, another one that I don't know a lot about and I still need to watch. Paranormal Activity 4. I think I've watched this one at least once, and it's a good addition to the series. Here is Daniel Radcliffe and Horns. That looks like a pretty unique one. Still haven't watched that, though. Might even have some comedy in that one. And Dark Was the Night. Need to watch that still. All right, then here we have Paranormal Activity 3. I remember watching this one in the theater on a previous Halloween. Pretty good one in the series. Here is Storage 24, another one I don't really know much about. Here is The Dead Room, another one I'm not super familiar with. Then here is Survival of the Dead. This one seems to have a lenticular slipcover, which is cool. Here is High Voltage, another one I think I got from the Dollar Tree. Apartment 143. The Curse of La Llorona, part of the Conjuring universe. Crawl, the slipcover. Another fun creature feature type movie. Enjoyed that one quite a bit. Lazarus Effect, that was a pretty cool movie. Here is a double feature. This one has Messengers and Freedom Land with Samuel L. Jackson. Here is Dark Web, Cicadia 3301 with a slipcover. That one has an interesting premise, sort of based on a true story. Haven't watched that yet. Shimmer, another Dollar Tree find. Devil Inside. It says inspired by true events, but not very familiar with that one. Shark Night. I think I got that one pretty cheap too. Shadowland, another Dollar Tree find. The Project. Looked like an interesting one. Pale Door at the slipcover. I think this one might have even been a Dollar Tree find as well. Trick. This one looks like could be a pretty cool one. The Eye with Jessica Alba. If She Screams. Sorority Row. And The Twin, Shudder original. Right, now the next row. Here we have Come Play. Now this one was one I really enjoyed when I watched it recently. This one is unique because it's about a child who has autism and has to use electronic devices to kind of speak and communicate effectively, and he sees different kind of nightmares or monsters coming to life through his electronic devices. That gives this movie almost like an AR, augmented reality spin. So pretty unique horror thriller there. I'd highly recommend that one. Here's The Skeleton Key. I watched this one years ago. Classic one with Kate Hudson. Enjoyed that a lot. Countdown. This is a pretty unique horror thriller as well, about an app that you can download that tells you exactly how long you're going to leave. And then it's kind of like people get killed in various different ways once the countdown timer stops. Hollow Man. This one, from what I understand, is potentially out of print now. And I haven't watched this one yet, but it's kind of similar premise to Invisible Man, I think. Here is a triple feature with various different Lost Boys movies. I watched the original recently, but haven't watched any of these follow-up spin-off type ones yet. Here is Intruders. Here is Split. That was kind of a fun one to watch in the theater when it came out. The Crazies. I remember a time when this was all over streaming services. Arachnophobia. Got that one pretty cheap from Best Buy recently. Haven't opened it yet, though. I watched this years ago. The Ghost Dimension, part of the Paranormal Activity series. I don't think I've ever actually watched that one, though. Pandorium. This one's Dennis Quaid, but not very familiar with that one either. One Missed Call. Kind of a creepy cover on that one. Drag Me to Hell. I watched this one not too long ago. That was a pretty interesting one. It's director Sam Raimi from the Evil Dead trilogy. Final Destination 5-film collection. Got a good deal on that from Amazon. I'll have to watch through those. And a box set of the Conjuring universe. 7 films on Blu-ray. Here's Truth or Dare, the slipcover. I remember watching that one in the theater, enjoying it quite a bit. I Still See You with the slipcover. This one almost seems like more of a drama with Bella Thorne. The Fourth Kind. Creepy alien possession kind of movie, I think. This is a double pack I got from Big Lots Cheap, I believe. It has Midnight Movie and Killer Movie. Here's The Bye Bye Man. Bad Samaritan, another one of my favorite horror thrillers here. I watched that one in the theater, and that was a ton of fun. Really enjoyed that one. I think they did a great job with that one, and I love the whole concept of that. Shut In, not super familiar with that, but this is a slipcover. Right. Hereditary, heard a lot of good things about this one, but haven't actually watched it yet. Still got a sealed copy here. Don't Tell a Soul. This one looks like it has a pretty interesting premise to it, so I'll have to watch that soon. Playback. Encounter. I've heard this one's not the best, but it has Luke Hemsworth. Want to give it a try. Kill Katie Malone. This one I got pretty cheap from a sale at Goodwill. Here's The Boy. The trailers for that one look pretty interesting. Here's Relic. The Gallows. Kevin Costner and the New Daughter. The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. The Fanatic, this one looks like it could be kind of a comedy. Zombie Diaries 2, love all zombie movies. Got a Queens of Scream multi-pack here with I Know What You Did Last Summer, When a Stranger Calls, and Vacancy. Frozen, one I'd like to watch soon. It's kind of a disaster thriller of people getting stuck on a ski lift, I think. Devil. The Visit, I remember watching this one before from M. Night Shyamalan. It's not a bad concept, but I will say the little kid who's kind of one of the main characters in this is pretty annoying. Here's The Cell. My Bloody Valentine 3D. Got that from Goodwill as well. Piggy, this is, I believe, a movie from like a Mexican studio or something. But this one I thought had some comedy in it. It wasn't bad for a pretty low-budget movie. 28 Days Later, still need to watch that. I've heard great things about that. And Citadel, trailer kind of interesting for that one. Guillermo del Toro's Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. And Crimson Peak and Blu-ray. I heard this could be a good 4K release, but I'm going to give the Blu-ray a try first. All right, next up here, we have The Apparition in a slipcover. The Unborn, with 2 different versions of the movie, theatrical and unrated. Escape Room, Tournament of Champions. Highly, highly recommend that whole series. That's an awesome series, and this is a slipcover copy, but both the Escape Room movies are a lot of fun to watch. They did really well with those. Splintered. Triple feature with Terror Trap, Scar, and Midnight Movie again. Case 39. Hangman, seems like a found footage one. Don't know if that'll be good or not. I got that recently. Krampus, Christmas horror movie. The Awakening. The Dead. Rust Creek. I originally watched this one on Netflix, I believe. That was a really good, again, kind of horror thriller with some people chasing down this girl. Dream House. Open Water and Open Water 2 Adrift. Good double feature there. Spell, this one had a pretty interesting trailer. I'll have to watch that one soon. It's a slipcover copy. And the movie Becky. This one looked like kind of a Home Alone type of comedy, horror, thriller type of thing. And then without a case here, I have Buried with Ryan Reynolds. Need to watch that still. I got that really cheap at one point. All right, now we're moving on to the DVD section of my horror shelf here. So, starting out, we have The Room. Don't know a lot about this one, but I'll have to watch this one soon. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I've watched this one once, and that wasn't bad now that I remember it a little more. Here we have Under the Bed. Interesting concept for that one. We have Blackwater Abyss. Look like a thriller there. Wrong Turn. Need to give the start to this series a try. The Cave, look like a nice adventure horror. Signs, this one's a classic. I remember watching this one as a kid. Nice alien movie with Mel Gibson. Really enjoy that one. Skinwalkers, not sure about this one, but I got it pretty cheap. Here is Halloween 2 and Halloween 3. I just got this cheap until I could watch or get the 4K copies of these eventually. I think I paid $1 for this DVD. Here's Eight-Legged Freaks, my favorite spider horror movie, or one of my favorite comedy horror movies of all time as well. A lot of fun to watch that one. Here's the original Saw. Haven't tried this series yet either. Might give it a chance. Here's The Gathering. Don't know too much about that one. Jaws: The Revenge. I watched the original Jaws, but I haven't seen this one yet. Christine. Like the concept of this movie. When a Stranger Calls. Looks like an interesting one. Here's Frailty. Don't know a lot about that one, but it has Matthew McConaughey. The Fog. Cabin Fever. The Uninvited. Here's, I think I got this from the Dollar Tree as well. Has 3 Robert the Doll movies in it. Don't know much about those. This one looked interesting when I picked it up. It's called The Boat. Kind of a survival at sea horror movie. Hannibal. And Bug. Not entirely sure if this one's on a higher format or not. Right, then this last row down here. Let's slowly pull these out. Here we have Them. Looks like a really old kind of insect horror movie. Jeepers Creepers. I watched this original movie. That one's pretty good. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. And then we have Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 2, although this one only has the second one in it. So just the second one here. Now this one, I love this movie. This was a lot of fun to watch. Definitely a comedy horror here. This movie, Slacks, is about a pair of jeans that comes alive and kills a bunch of people in a store. Super fun movie if you haven't seen that one. Here's a DVD Steelbook for The Breed. Haven't watched this one yet, but this is a cool Steelbook I got a good deal on. Here's the original Ring movie. Enjoy that a lot. And The Ring 2. Good follow-up. Nicole Kidman and the Others. This is part of the Dimension Collector series. Haven't watched that yet. Here's Lake Placid Legacy. Kind of a remake, I think. And Prom Night. No, that one's on a higher format, but I'm going to watch this one on DVD first. Here's Hellgirl. Got that one cheap, I think, at maybe Big Lots, if I remember right. Here is The Killing Gene. Serial Mom. I got this one at Rasputin just because it looked like an interesting movie. It's supposed to be kind of a comedy horror as well. Still got to try that one. White Noise. I've heard good things about that. Slaughterhouse Rules. Looked interesting. The Tattooist. Looks like a crazy concept. This is one of those 10 movie horror collections. A bunch of low-budget horror movies. I think there's even more. Cry Wolf. Got this one pretty cheap too. Joyride 1, 2, and 3. I got this at Best Buy way back, and I really enjoyed the original Joyride. I think they kind of get worse as they go in this series, but pretty interesting concept for this horror thriller where it's about an evil truck driver, like a semi-truck driver named Rusty Nail that terrorizes people. Wolfman with Benicio del Toro. All right, next we have Slither. Now, this is another one of my favorite horror movies of all time. This has an incredible concept and some really funny, crazy scenes in it. So another one I highly, highly recommend if you haven't seen it yet. Here we have Under the Bed, which I believe I already said, so this might be a duplicate. I'll have to double check on that. The Exorcist. Haven't actually watched this yet, but wanted to give the DVD a try before I get a higher format. Lights Out, another movie I enjoyed when I saw it before. Darkness Falls. Another collection of various horror movies. Here is Red Eye. Leprechaun in the Hood. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. That's a really incredible movie too. No, this one is out on a higher format as well, but I enjoy that movie. All right, then here we have Xenophobia. Looks like an alien movie I'll have to give a try too. Tigers Are Not Afraid. Got that one from the Dollar Tree, I think. Cupid. Looks like a crazy one. Cube 2 Hypercube. Don't know much about that. Neighbor. That's like a fun one to watch. And Restricted Area. All right, so as promised, here is a walkthrough of my horror movie Funko Pop. So first of all, here we have my favorite horror movie character, Pennywise, holding Georgie's boat here, you can see there. And then over here we have the grabber from the Black Phone movies, 2 different variations here. I did a shorts video where I kind of went over these here. They're pretty cool pops. And of course we got to have Michael Myers. We have a big Michael Myers pop here holding the knife. And then we have Michael Myers behind the hedge. This is a scene from the original Halloween movie. And then next to him here we have the burnt Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from the Ghostbusters series. Think he's pretty cool. And we have a candy pop here. I forget exactly what these are called, but this is supposed to be Frankenstein with some green and black candy in there, so I think that one's pretty cool as well. But that is a quick walkthrough of all of the Funko Pops above my horror movie shelf. All right, to start out with my music Blu-rays, we have a Justin Timberlake concert here. So this is live from Madison Square Garden. Haven't watched that one yet. And then we have Under the Electric Sky in a slipcover here. I actually got this at EDC Las Vegas when I went there and had a good time there. So it's a pretty good documentary type movie. And then moving on to some of the documentaries I have in my collection. I have just a few. We have a 4K copy of 7 Worlds, 1 Planet. We have Dynasties on 4K from the producer of Planet Earth 2. And we have Aircraft Carrier and Fighter Pilot. Haven't watched these on the 4K format yet, but wanted to have those. Then moving down, we have some of my music DVDs here. So here we have Switchfoot live in San Diego. I love that band, but haven't watched that DVD yet. We have Beyonce, Three Doors Down live in Houston, Texas. AC/DC. Aerosmith, You Gotta Move live. This has a DVD in it and a CD. Metallica. AC/DC No Bull. AC/DC Family Jewels. Metallica Some Kind of Monster. I remember originally watched this on Netflix actually. John Foreman, 25 and 24. This is the singer of the band Switchfoot, and this is where he does 25 concerts in 24 hours, which is pretty cool. Have one of these Fireside Reflections thing here. Smash Mouth, I think this mainly just has some music videos in it. I used to like them quite a bit. This here, Noel G and Second Chance. So Noel G is an actor who I met at one time, and he signed this for me. And then Second Chance is a musical artist from the Bay Area, I believe. And then here's The Killers, live from Royal Albert Hall. Haven't watched that yet, but got that cheap at the library. Same with this, I got this cheap at the library too, Kings of Leon live. Here is Metallica, S&M. It's a cool show. ZZ Top, live from Texas. Metallica, A Year and a Half in the Life of, Part 1 and 2. 5 Seconds of Summer. This is surprisingly a DVD, even though it's in a Blu-ray type case. Pillar, they're a cool band, On the Road, All Day Every Day. Metallica's Through the Never. This was interesting. It was like a combination of a concert and a movie. Aerosmith, Rock This Way. Then we have all of my CDs here. I went through all these already in my original full collection walkthrough video, so I'm not going to go through these again, but you can kind of see the sides of them here. But the main focus of this will be on my movies specifically in my video. So then this next shelf down here is where I keep some of my TV series that I have. A lot of these I just picked up because they got cheap, not because they're shows I necessarily love. Some of them are shows I enjoy. But starting out over here on this side for this one, we have Friends, the complete series on Blu-ray. I haven't watched these yet. My wife enjoys those. We have Swamp Thing on Blu-ray. I haven't watched this yet, but it looked pretty interesting. I got that on Facebook Marketplace. Here's Gossip Girl, 4th season. Gossip Girl, 5th season. Firefly, the complete series. I've heard good things about that, but haven't watched that yet. Have that on Blu-ray. Here we have Entourage, Season 3, Part 1. Entourage, Season 3, Part 2. Entourage, the complete 2nd season. We have The Mindy Project. This is sealed. That is Season 2. Then we have all of these different Sex and the City shows, different seasons from HBO. Ugly Betty Season 4 is there. We have Shameless Season 3. We have Girls, the complete first season and the complete second season. The Office Season 1 on DVD. The Office Season 3 on DVD. Mindy Project Season 1. Ugly Betty Season 3. Shameless Season 1. Ugly Betty Season 2. Shameless Season 2. And Skins Season 1 through 3. So I might watch some of those at some point, but I mainly just got these cheap at library sales and stuff where I hardly paid anything for them, to where I just have them for now to give it a try and then decide whether I want to keep or get rid of them. Then down here, we have Stranger Things on Blu-ray in this VHS type case. That one's still sealed. And this one, I believe, is the first season, if I remember right. And here we have Stranger Things 2, the second season. I have multiple seasons of 24 here on DVD. I believe I have almost the entire series here, actually. Then we have, this is Dave Ramsey's Smart Conference. I watched through that. That was pretty good. The Pacific in this cool case. Picked that up at the thrift store. MASH, the complete collection. Haven't watched those yet. Then this is a Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. documentary type thing. It's Ernest. Got that pretty cheap. That was a complete 13-episode series. And then Planet Earth on Blu-ray. And I have a VHS of Nightmare Before Christmas, but I still need to get a VHS player again. All right, so here are the Funko Pops above my music movie shelf. So first of all, we have Iron Man here. This one actually glows in the dark in the blue part at the bottom there. Then we have Gizmo in the red car here. That's a pretty cool one I got recently. We have Metal Deadpool here, the guitar. I think that's a pretty cool one. I really like that one, especially above this shelf. We have the Mega Pop for Iron Man. Another cool one. I got a really good deal on that one through the Funko store around Black Friday's time. And then here we have some miniature pops. We got Spider-Man, the Hulk, and Iron Man, and they're all holding Easter baskets and Easter eggs for Easter time. And then over here we have Wonder Woman on the Pegasus. All right, so first shelf here we have my drama 4Ks, starting with The Shape of Water. I remember watching this one in the theater, and that was a very interesting and kind of bizarre movie. I did enjoy watching it and seemed to have some pretty good visuals, so I do look forward to seeing that one on 4K, as I think that would be a pretty nice 4K movie, but I did enjoy that one. Then here we have a slipcover of Joker on 4K. This was a very impressive movie. I enjoyed this a lot when I saw it in the theater too, and thought this was one of DC's better movies that they've come out with, and I think all the cast was great, some of the visual effects and makeup were great, and I enjoyed that one quite a bit. Then here we have a sealed copy of Green Book. So I rented this one at one point and watched it and enjoyed it. Thought it was very good, kind of emotional type drama that was inspired by a true story. And so I wanted to pick that one up on the 4K format. I got that from Groove, if I remember right, during a sale they had, and got a pretty good deal on it. Then here we have The Life of Pi. Now, this is a movie I enjoy quite a bit. I think this one has some great visuals in it, but I will say that I was a little underimpressed with the 4K release here. I didn't notice a huge difference in the 4K release over the regular Blu-ray release, but it is a very good movie. I enjoy the movie just for the plot and the story itself, and some of the visuals are great, even if the 4K could be better. So I'd say if you're interested in checking out this movie, check it out on either Blu-ray or 4K, but it is one that I would recommend watching at least once. And here I have a 4K copy of Dirty Dancing, kind of a classic movie. Haven't watched this one in years, but wanted to see what the 4K is like. Sometimes these older movies look pretty good on the format. And here is First Man with Ryan Gosling. Haven't watched this one for a while either, but I know these sci-fi space kind of movies usually look pretty good on the 4K format, so looking forward to seeing how that one is visually. And here is Ford versus Ferrari with Christian Bale and Matt Damon. I enjoyed this one a lot in the theater as well, and I anticipate this one having some very good audio in it. and just seemed like one that it made sense to have on the 4K format, as this one is a very visually stunning movie and one that had a great audio track in the theater. And here's The Greatest Showman. This was my favorite musical ever, and I just really enjoyed watching this one in the theater. I think I saw this like actually 3 or 4 times in the theater when it came out, watched it with different people, and I just enjoyed this one so much. Probably one of my favorite movies of all time, actually. And here is Bohemian Rhapsody with a slipcover on 4K. This is a great biopic kind of film, and I would definitely enjoy this one, I would definitely recommend this one if you enjoy Queen's music, because it was a very good representation. Here I have Concussion with Will Smith. This is a Will Smith movie I haven't actually watched yet, but it's based on a true story. And sports movies aren't necessarily my favorite, but I thought this was an interesting concept for this one, so I'll have to give that one a chance. Here's A Star is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, the slipcover. And this one I got a pretty good deal on, and I watched this one in the theater too and really enjoyed the story and the music in it. So definitely will enjoy watching that one again because it's a great story. Here is The Call of the Wild with Harrison Ford. This is a very enjoyable adventure kind of family movie to watch, and I was really happy to find a good deal on this one on the 4K format. Sometimes Disney doesn't have the best 4K releases, but we'll have to see how this one is. Here is Wild with Reese Witherspoon. This was an interesting movie, not my favorite of all time, but I like the concept and the plot, and I enjoyed watching this when I originally rented it or watched it on streaming, and have to give that one a chance at some point again. Then here's The Mountain Between Us. This was a great story as well. Great cast here with Idris Elba and Kate Winslet, and another very good adventure kind of disaster movie where these two have to survive a plane crash together. And so I need to watch this one again soon. I've seen it once, but haven't watched it on the 4K format yet, and definitely a movie I'd recommend. Now, here is Titanic on 4K, the slipcover. Not only is this an incredible movie, as many of you probably already know, but this release is incredible as well. Definitely another one of the best 4K releases that I've seen. They did a great job with this one, and this is without a doubt the release you should pick up of this movie. Here is Gran Turismo with the slipcover on 4K. Another one of my favorite movies here. I picked this up and watched this not too long ago, and it instantly became one of my favorite movies. This movie is just so fun to watch, so incredible, whether you've played Gran Turismo or not. I just love car movies, and they did such a great job with this one. Had a great cast, and it's based on a true story, and I just love everything about this one. And here's Oppenheimer, of course. There was a lot of buzz around this movie when it came out, and I will say that this was a very high-quality movie, and it looks great on the 4K format. Although I will say, the movie itself, while it's a great kind of historical picture, I will say it was pretty slow-paced and pretty long, and it was a little boring, but if you're interested in the story, it's a great release of it. Another one I watched recently here, Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder. I picked this up pretty cheap at Half Price Books. This one has a slipcover, and I wasn't sure about if I liked this movie when I saw the trailer for it, because the trailer made it look a little slow, but again, I love car movies, and this one has a little more drama in it than some of the other car movies I've watched, but I enjoyed this quite a bit. I especially enjoyed the soundtrack on this release, probably a huge upgrade over the original releases this got, and visually not bad either for its time period. And next we have Clint Eastwood in The Mule. So this was one I watched in the theater when it came out, and I thought it was a pretty good Clint Eastwood movie. I wouldn't necessarily say it's his best one ever, but definitely one I enjoyed, so another one I would recommend, and still have to give this a chance on this format though. Then here we have Everest. I upgraded this one in my collection. I had the Blu-ray previously, and then I picked up this 4K, as this is a pretty action-packed movie that I wanted to have on the higher format. And here's Galveston on 4K. Just picked this up in one of my recent hauls, and haven't watched it yet. The plot looked pretty interesting, so need to give it a try, but yeah, probably be watching that one soon. And here's Hugo with the Arrow 4K release. This is an incredible release, an incredible movie, and definitely the release that I would recommend. I love this so much when I watched it, and it's just an incredible, visually stunning, incredible release. Everything from the video quality, the sound quality, it's all just perfect. Arrow did a great job with special features here too, so highly recommend the Arrow release for this one. All right, now to start with the 1080p Blu-rays, we have the movie Red Lights here. So this is one I watched a number of months back, and I thought it was another interesting plot for this one. Somewhat thrilling, somewhat engaging, somewhat mysterious, so not a bad movie. It is one I would recommend. Here's The Edge of 17. Haven't watched this one yet, but I've heard good things about it. Have to give that a try. Pirate Radio. Got that one pretty cheap from Rasputin at one point. Precious. Haven't watched that yet. Got that one pretty cheap. Extraordinary Measures with Brendan Fraser and Harrison Ford. Need to give that a try still. Picked this one up pretty recently. Bayou Caviar. The Way Back with Ben Affleck, another more recent sports movie. It comes to sports movies, I do sometimes enjoy basketball stories. Then I have The Kitchen with Melissa McCarthy in it. Don't know a lot about that one, but has a slipcover here. Then I have Killing Jesus. Straight A's. I Can Only Imagine. This is an incredible faith-based film about the artist and the band Mercy Me. So I really enjoyed this one. I think they did an incredible job with this movie and can't recommend this one enough. Here's Castaway, definitely a classic. Happy to have found this one on the not the 4K format, the Blu-ray format, and has Tom Hanks. And if somehow you've never seen this one, you gotta watch it. Just a classic movie. American Dresser. Don't know a lot about this one, but I think it picks up at the Dollar Tree. It's got a slip cover and just seems like an interesting kind of road trip type movie. Collateral Beauty. I watched this one in the theater when it came out with Will Smith, and not a bad movie. I enjoyed its premise. The Postcard Killings. So that has Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I enjoyed his performance in the Walking Dead shows, so want to give that one a try. The Time Traveler's Wife. Heard good things about this one, but haven't given it a try yet. Submergence with a slipcover. Want to give that one a try too. Breakthrough. Don't know a lot about this one, but it's supposed to be based on a true story. The Hate You Give. Words on Bathroom Walls. King Richard. That's a pretty recent one. Another sports story. October Baby. The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock. Good sports movie there for football fans. Wonder, the slipcover. I enjoyed that one quite a bit when I saw it in the theater. It's a nice one. Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio. This is a trippy movie. Keeps you guessing all the way through. Enjoyed that quite a bit. Room. This was interesting, kind of disturbing, but enjoyed that one as a drama. Monsters Ball with Halle Berry, Billy Bob Thornton. Have to give that a try. Zero Dark 30. Runner. Chasing Mavericks with Gerard Butler. I was super happy to find this one because it takes place in Santa Cruz, California area where I'm initially from, so excited to watch that one again. Here's Warrior with Tom Hardy. 12 Years a Slave, great drama there. Open Road, plot looked interesting in that one. Drib, this one looked odd but interesting. Florence Foster Jenkins, not sure how much I'd enjoy that one. It's got Meryl Streep and Hugh Grant. Have to give that a try though. Flight, pretty good drama there with Denzel Washington, slipcover copy. The Lincoln Lawyer, been a long time since I watched that one, but I enjoy McConaughey's performance in this one. Slipcover there. Will Smith in Focus. This one wasn't too bad when I saw it in the theater. Jobs, with Ashton Kutcher, story of Steve Jobs. Labor Day, the slipcover, with Kate Winslet. Dear John, good romance story. Pulp Fiction, believe it or not, I still haven't seen this. Still need to watch that one. Heard good things about it. Heaven is for Real. The slipcover, I watched this one in a movie theater when it came out. Another pretty good faith-based film. Stand By Me, another classic coming-of-age story. Definitely a classic movie you got to check out. Straight Outta Compton with Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Ice Cube. Awesome movie about these artists. And The Informers. Don't know a lot about that one. All right, next shelf here. First we have Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg. I watched this recently, and that was an incredible movie. I enjoyed that one a lot. Has some comedy in it as well, but just a great story that I really enjoyed. And The Theory of Everything. An interesting one. Promised Land. Still Mine. The Longest Ride. Another romance story. La La Land. Heard good things about that one, but I haven't watched it yet. Got a slipcover copy here. The Sessions. Watched that one recently. That was kind of funny, kind of dramatic, but another one I'd recommend. Twilight Eclipse. I think I have some of the Twilight movies spread out across different shelves here. Here's Twilight Breaking Dawn, the original Twilight, and Breaking Dawn Part 2. Slumdog Millionaire. Been quite a few years since I watched that one. Contact. That one looks pretty interesting with Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey. Silver Linings Playbook. Pretty good movie. Charlie St. Cloud. Another pretty good one. August Rush. Mississippi Grind. Have to give that one a try soon. Mud. This is one of my favorite McConaughey movies, actually. I enjoyed that one a lot. Safe Haven. And then Hacksaw Ridge. This one is one I've kind of considered upgrading to 4K because it's one of my favorite war-type films of all time. So it's got a slipcover here. MIDI with the slipcover. Don't know a lot about that one. Trans-Siberian. Beyond the Lights. Gone Baby Gone. Win-Win. Henry Poole is here. Mamma Mia. Reign Over Me. And Eight Below, another classic here that I really enjoy with Paul Walker. Another one of my favorite kind of family movies. Highly recommend that one. Here's The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg. Slipcover copy of that one. 127 Hours with James Franco. Good story there. To Save a Life. Gran Torino. Clint Eastwood classic. Gotta have that one. Megan Levy. I actually got this one from the Dollar Tree. All Eyes on Me. Still got this one sealed. Tupac story. Got that cheap on Amazon. Miracle on 34th Street. Christmas Carol. Hope Floats. Changeling. I watched Changeling, the part of the show on Apple TV Plus recently, and I think it's kind of based on this movie, so I want to give this a try. Country Strong. Everything. I think I paid like $1 for this one was all. Eat, Pray, Love. I Still Believe. Another incredible faith-based film about Jeremy Camp, great artist. Good People. Walk in the Woods, not a bad movie. The Invisible, intriguing plot in that one. And Anthem of a Teenage Prophet. Picked this up pretty recently too with a slipcover. Seemed like an interesting plot on that one. Right, last shelf of the 1080p Blu-rays here. We have Where the Red Fern Grows. Lady in the Water. Just watched this the other night. That was a pretty interesting movie. I'm actually going to take that one out so I can take the sticker off of it. Sound of Metal. I've heard good things about this one, but I still need to watch that one. A Father's Fight. That one just looked interesting. The Barber. Another one I thought had an interesting premise. I got that one for a couple bucks. Water for Elephants, heard good things about that one. Burnt, looks like a pretty good Bradley Cooper movie. If I Stay. Double pack here with The Squid and the Whale and Running with Scissors. Got that cheap on clearance at Half Price Books. Begin Again. Wall Street, classic movie there. The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Channing Tatum and Fighting. And The Girl on the Train with the slipcover. The Shack. This is a very dramatic and kind of sad but good faith-based film. 5 Feet Apart. Amelia. The Reader. Sweetwater. Redeeming Love. Sympathy for Delicious. The premise of that one looked pretty interesting. The Fault in Our Stars. Slipcover Blu-ray. This one had like a bracelet included with it too, which was cool. The Monuments Men. Apparition Hill. Just Mercy. Pretty good drama there. Adrift. Another interesting one. Love and Basketball. Selma. Watched that one a while back when I rented it on Redbox. Good historical context there. Beginners. Me Before You. Good love story. Sully. Good airplane movie. Bad Times at the El Royale. Need to give that one a chance. The Drowning. And Patty Cakes. Incredible movie here. Highly underrated. One I would highly, highly recommend. It's funny, has great drama, great story, great music. Can't recommend that one enough. Right, first shelf of the regular DVDs here. We have American Beauty, not a bad movie. Radio, old but a pretty good one there. Dad, don't know much about that. Cinderella Man. The Descendants with George Clooney. Here on Earth. A Beautiful Mind. Heard good things about that one. The Hurricane with Denzel Washington. Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Classic movie there. An Education. Aviator. Sleepless in Seattle. Another classic with Tom Hanks. The Butterfly Effect. Interesting one. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. It's kind of a funny story. Wicker Park. Pleasantville. Heard good things about that one, but still need to watch that one. A Christmas Carol. Passion of the Christ. Great movie. Touching the Void. Max Lucado's Christmas Child. October Sky. A Painted House. The Cooler. I Am Paul Walker. Wanted to get that one from Best Buy since I like Paul Walker a lot. 500 Days of Summer. Great movie. Big Fish. That was a pretty interesting one. Interesting Tim Burton film. This is an interesting copy that has like a book in it. All right, next we have Baby Boy with Tyrese Gibson. Full Grown Men. Black Swan. Mona Lisa Smile. Made in Manhattan, another classic. Multi-pack here with The Perfect Guy, Obsessed, and No Good Deed. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 2. My wife likes that series. Tom Hanks as Forrest Gump. Classic movie there. Walk the Line. Boy Next Door, not a bad movie. And Girl Interrupted. Next DVD shelf. We've got Factory Girl. Breathe. Duma, good movie there. Notebook, another classic romance. Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, another one of my favorite movies of all times. I love that movie. Tin Cup, good golf movie. Forget Paris. The Ides of March. Leave No Trace, another great movie. The Bucket List, a classic. Gone Girl, haven't watched that yet. The Vow. Friday Night Lights, classic sports movie. I, Tonya, got that from the Dollar Tree. Kart Racer, underrated racing movie. Enjoyed that a lot. I remember getting that one from Blockbuster before. Before Sunset, Ethan Hawke. Motorcycle Diaries, looked at an interesting one. The Lake House. Green Street Hooligans. A Street Cat Named Bob. Want to watch that one soon. An Unfinished Life. Shawshank Redemption, classic one there. Might consider getting that one on a higher format. Boys of Lost Island. The Help. Boyhood. Great Expectations. Never Let Me Go. Before Sunrise. Beautiful Creatures. One Day. Fling. Across the Universe. Hoosiers. Endless Love. Stop Loss. Almost Famous. That one I thought was just okay. Not my favorite movie. Meet the Browns. Love Comes Softly. And Never Cry Wolf from Disney. All right, this will be the last of my DVDs in this collection here. So first of all, we have $1 Million Baby. Need to see if I have 2 copies of that one. I might actually. Everybody's Fine. Nights in Rodin. Make Your Move. Boiler Room, that was a pretty good one. I enjoyed that one with Vin Diesel. Step Up Revolution. The Secret. Love Finds a Home. Mrs. Henderson Presents. My Life. Michael Keaton. Elizabethtown. I Can Do Bad All By Myself. Where the Heart Is. Seabiscuit. Losing Isaiah. Step Up. Letters to God. Ever After. The Reliant. And lastly, Broken Bridges. All right, now for the Funko Pops above my drama movie shelves. We have 2 Batmans here. We have the Batman Mega Pop. And then we have the smaller Funko Pop, the 10-inch one of Batman that has a different stance, a little bit more of an aggressive face. Both of these are pretty cool, and happy I have both of them. Okay, so we're going to start with the 4Ks on my comedy shelf here. You'll see these aren't just comedy movies. I have some family movies and animated movies mixed in here as well, but to start out, we have my 4K Steelbook of Spies in Disguise. I picked this up from Best Buy recently on sale, I want to say for like $10 during their clearance, so gotta watch that one still. I have the Steelbook for Coraline. I paid a little bit more for this one, probably closer to $20, but this is an incredible animated movie, and I'm really happy I got the Steelbook for it. It has some really awesome artwork on the Steelbook. This is the front, this is the back. Love the designs there. And that's just an incredible movie that I think you really need to watch on the 4K format because it just has super vibrant colors and it's a great story and just a really unique movie. So I love that one, probably one of my favorite animated movies actually. Here's Lightyear 4K Steelbook. Watched this one for the first time recently. Another one I got for probably around $10 on clearance at Best Buy, and I did enjoy this one and how it was kind of different from other Pixar movies, so did appreciate that one. Pretty good movie. Then here we have Space Jam: A New Legacy in 4K with a slipcover. So this one I haven't watched yet. Of course, I was a fan of the original Space Jam movie, though, as many people were, so I wanted to see this follow-up at some point. Nutcracker in the Four Realms 4K Steelbook, or not Steelbook, sorry, 4K the slipcover. This one I just thought would be a cool one to see on the 4K format, so that's why I picked this one up. I haven't actually seen it before, but have to give that a try. And here is Jungle Cruise, 4K with a slipcover. And this one I saw in the theater when it came out originally, and I enjoy the humor that The Rock brought to this one, and I think it was a pretty good movie, good representation of the source material. So it is a movie I'd recommend as far as Disney movies go. Here is a 4K slipcover copy of The Little Mermaid. Haven't watched this movie in years, but I try to get the Disney movies on 4K, even though they're not the best 4K releases typically. I like to have those on the higher format. And here's Coco on 4K. This one has some really colorful, vibrant visuals, so if you haven't seen this one, it's one of the Pixar movies I would recommend for the visuals. And not a bad story as well, it has some twists in the plot line and everything, so I appreciated that movie when I saw it in the theater. And Aladdin with a slipcover. So this one is actually one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. So as far as like the classic Disney movies that everyone knows go, this is probably one of my favorites. I think it's a pretty unique story, one I always enjoy watching, and I look forward to seeing what's like on the 4K format too. Here is Shaun of the Dead. I don't know that I've ever actually seen this one, but I've heard great things about it as far as comedy movies go, and I always like all movies related to zombies, so look forward to watching that one again. And then here is Dumbo. This one also has a slipcover. Haven't seen this one yet, but have to give that a try. And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is another one I still need to try out. I know I've heard nothing but good things about this movie and the sequel to it, so I wanted to pick it up and give it a try on the 4K format. I know it's a very different style than a lot of other Marvel movies, but that's part of what makes it unique, so I'll have to see what I think of that one. Disney Pixar's Onward, one of the Pixar movies I haven't seen yet, but I'll have to give that a try on 4K. Peter Rabbit on 4K of the slipcover. I was actually really surprised by this movie. So I watched this for the first time on the 4K format here, and I was really impressed by the audio track here, actually. There are some really cool scenes where the rabbit was running through like some hollowed out logs, and you would hear changes in the surround sound as that was happening, and I really appreciate what they did with the audio track here. I was really impressed by how good this 4K disc was for just being, this kind of silly kids type movie. But this is a really fun movie to watch overall. Definitely one I would recommend and one I'm happy to have in my collection on 4K. And here's Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Great performances from the cast in this one. Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, all great comedians, and I appreciated the adventure they went on this story, and great soundtrack here as well, so definitely a fun movie I'd recommend. Night School with Kevin Hart, the slipcover here. I watched this one in the theater originally too, and I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite comedy movie, but it is one I enjoyed. I have a certain appreciation for Kevin Hart's movies, so another one I'm happy to have. Here is The Spy Who Dumped Me. Now this one I'm not sure about. I picked this one up cheap. I'm not sure if I'll like it or not. I haven't tried it out yet, but if I have the ability to pick up 4K Blu-rays inexpensively, I always do. Here is Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. This is a pretty fun one to watch. I appreciated this one. Some good performances from Anna Kendrick, Zac Efron, Adam Devine. I really think this one is one I didn't have to have on the 4K format, but I do appreciate the movie, and I'll probably be watching it for years to come, so still happy I picked it up. Here is Baywatch with Dwayne Johnson. The Rock's great in most of his movies, I would say, and this one's no exception. Been a while since I've seen this one. I think I might watch it in the theater, but have to give that a try again soon. It's a slipcover copy. Central Intelligence with Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. Great combo here, and I think they both did a great job with the source material here. Just a super funny movie to watch, and they're just a great pair. I know they get along really well. Here's one I got more recently, Hook, classic movie with Robin Williams I haven't seen yet, but another one I've heard good things about, so I'll have to see what that one's like on 4K. And Stuber with the slipcover. So this one has Dave Bautista, and I remember watching this in the theater, and it was pretty funny material here, and So if you haven't seen this one, I do recommend it. It's probably a little bit lesser known comedy, but still pretty funny. Here is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I thought this would be a cool one for the 4K format as well, and when I watched it, it definitely was. Has some great visuals in it, and I think they did a really great job making this movie, and yeah, I could see myself watching this over and over again. So definitely check that one out. And Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds. Haven't tried this one out yet, but I have always enjoyed Pokemon and Pikachu, so I'll have to give this a try. Heard good things about it. Got the slipcover copy there. And Mary Poppins Returns. I watched this one pretty recently, and not a bad movie. Appreciated the visuals here as well, and has a nice kind of heartwarming story. Here's The Addams Family on 4K with the slipcover. Haven't watched that in years, but it's a classic movie. Have to see how the 4K format is with that one. And Why Him? This is, I would say, another pretty underrated comedy. James Franco and Bryan Cranston are a great team in this one, and this is just a hilarious movie. I enjoy this one so much, and there's few other comedy movies I could think of that actually made me laugh as much as this movie, so highly, highly recommend this one. It's a great one. Keeping Up with the Joneses on 4K. Haven't watched this one in years, but need to watch it again. Great team up here and funny material. Goosebumps 2. I have a certain level of enjoyment for both Goosebumps movies, but it's been a while since I've seen that one. Wrinkle in Time. Still need to watch this one. The Big Lebowski. Saw that not too long ago. Some funny points in that movie. Kind of a odd plot, but I appreciated it. Snatched. I watched this one pretty recently and was actually pleasantly surprised by this one. It was better than I thought it would be for a movie that has pretty low ratings. Another one I probably didn't need to have in the 4K format, but it's always nice to have the highest quality possible. The House with a Clock in Its Walls. Haven't watched that yet, but another one I thought would be good on the 4K format, so I'll give that a try soon. Rough Night with Scarlett Johansson. Haven't watched this one yet, but could be entertaining. Downsizing with Matt Damon. I watched that one in the theater and enjoyed at least about half of the movie. I felt like this movie kind of switched, once there's major changes halfway through the movie, that kind of changed how I felt about it, but I enjoyed at least half of this movie, so I wanted to give it another try. Puss in Boots with a slipcover. One of my favorite comedy kids animated series. Can't go wrong with Puss in Boots. And Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them with the slipcover. Haven't watched this yet, but I wanted to give this series a try since I enjoy the Harry Potter films. And Zombieland in 4K. I've watched this on regular Blu-ray, but haven't seen the 4K yet, so I think that could be a good one. And then this is a double pack of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies in 4K Steelbook form, so I've kind of done a review of these before, but need to actually watch these movies. I got a good deal on the Steelbooks, but still need to watch them. Now, moving on to the first shelf of 1080p Blu-rays here. We have Mirror Mirror. Not too familiar with that one, but my wife and I'll probably give that a try. The Secret Life of Pets. Super fun kids animated movie if you enjoy pets. Peter Pan with a slipcover. Kevin James as the zookeeper. I enjoy Kevin James a lot. He's a pretty funny guy, great comedy actor. The Kid Who Would Be King. I remember when this came out in the theater, but I never actually watched it, so I still need to try it out. Cars 3 from Disney Pixar. A great whole series. Marmaduke. Silly pet movie. Marley and Me. This one I actually might move to my drama shelf. I'm not sure. Probably going to take this one out of here, but good movie with Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston. Kind of a heartwarming and sad story, so put that one over for my drama shelf. Where the Wild Things Are. Been a while since I've seen that one, but classic kid story. Nancy Drew and the Hidden Staircase. And haven't watched that one yet, but it has Sophia Lillis in it, if that's how it's pronounced. I know she was in the It movies, which I really enjoyed, so I want to give that a try. Ninja Turtles. This one's got kind of a messed up slipcover, but need to give that a try still. This one, I believe, has Megan Fox in it and decent cast, so try that out. Paws to the Rescue. I think I got this pretty cheap. Sometimes I like trying out these silly pet type movies. Cars 2, like I said, great series from Disney Pixar. Secondhand Lions, don't know much about that. Big, classic Tom Hanks movie, love that one. Toy Story, That Time Forgot, I don't think I've ever actually seen that one, but Toy Story series is great. Journey to the Mysterious Island, pretty fun movies. Tooth Fairy 2, those are kind of funny. Paddington, pretty cute story. Monsters, Inc. with the slipcover, another classic Pixar movie. Toy Story 3, another great Toy Story movie, got a slipcover copy here. Disney Pixar's Up, probably one of the most heartwarming stories from Pixar. Another slipcover copy. We Bought a Zoo with Matt Damon and Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if I've seen this one yet, but it looked interesting. Slipcover copy. Cats and Dogs, Revenge of Kitty Galore. I remember watching the Cats and Dogs movies when I was very young and always enjoyed those. Beauty and the Beast with the slipcover, classic Disney movie. Ice Age, classic movie from my childhood. Remember watching that one a lot. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I know this one's available on 4K, but I haven't really decided to upgrade it yet. I think this Blu-ray copy works just fine for now. Disney's Lady and the Tramp, classic Disney story. Stuart Little, another classic movie from my childhood. E.T., another one I would potentially consider getting on the 4K format, but great classic movie, gotta have in your collection. Dolphin Tale, haven't tried that one out yet. Lion King, this one's a DVD and a Blu-ray, even though it looks like a DVD case. Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I think this is the only one I have in the Narnia series currently. Got that one pretty cheap. Pixar short films, those are interesting to watch. Turbo, another animated movie I really enjoyed from DreamWorks. Minions with the slipcover. I need to give these a try. I've never really watched the Minions movies. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day with Steve Carell, Jennifer Garner. Great cast, so I'll have to give that a try. Got a slipcover copy here. How to Train Your Dragon. Very popular kids series from DreamWorks. Final Fantasy. I believe one of my friends gave this to me. I haven't actually watched it yet. Not a huge fan of that game series, but still have it in my collection. Tim and Eric's $1 Billion Movie. This one looked kind of crazy and funny, so I'll have to try that out. Hustle with Anne Hathaway. Bruno. Half Brothers, don't know a lot about that one. Burn After Reading, this one has a pretty good cast. Meet Dave with Eddie Murphy, need to watch that still. And Home Again with Reese Witherspoon. All right, on the next shelf here, we're starting out with Zombieland Double Tap with a slipcover. Great addition to the Zombieland series, I enjoyed those a lot. Then I have Year One, great comedy matchup here with Jack Black and Michael Cera. Don't Mess with the Zohan, classic Adam Sandler movie, gotta see that one. Warm Bodies, classic zombie movie, zombie romance, I enjoy that one quite a bit. The Other Woman, don't know a lot about that one, but it's got Cameron Diaz. Wedding Crashers, classic movie there, pretty enjoyable comedy. The Wedding Ringer, the slipcover. This one's got Kevin Hart, very funny wedding-related comedy movie. Can't recommend that one enough. We're the Millers with the lenticular slipcover. That one's pretty cool. That one's got Jennifer Aniston. Valentine's Day. Nature Calls. American Pie presents The Book of Love. I haven't watched any of the American Pie series yet. American Reunion. This Is the End. Just watched this one the other night. Very fun movie to watch. Very creative. Pitch Perfect with the slipcover. Haven't watched that series yet. Straight Talk. War Dogs. Fun Mom Dinner. Got a slipcover for that one as well. Then I've got the movie Click. Classic Adam Sandler movie. Got to see that one. Bride Wars. Classic wedding movie. The Boss with Melissa McCarthy. Blended with Adam Sandler. I've seen that one countless times. Pretty funny romance movie. Anchorman 2 with Will Ferrell. Not my favorite, but it's alright. I Feel Pretty with Amy Schumer. Watched this the other night. Not a terrible movie. Drillbit Taylor with Owen Wilson. Always enjoy Owen Wilson's movies. Dumb and Dumber. Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels. Classic movie there. Daddy's Home with Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg. Super fun series to watch. It's a slipcover copy. Daddy's Home 2 as well. Both are really great movies. Dan in Real Life with Steve Carell. Haven't watched that yet. Balls Out. Haven't watched that yet. Bad Moms. Bad Teacher. 22 Jump Street, sequel to 21 Jump Street. That's got Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. It's a slipcover copy. 27 Dresses, another classic wedding movie. 40-Year-Old Virgin, classic Steve Carell comedy. And here's a silly kind of satirical matchup movie. The 41-Year-Old Virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. Have to try that still. Zac Efron 17 again, pretty good one. Going the Distance with Drew Barrymore and Justin Long. I always enjoyed Justin Long's movies. Grief the Invisible. That one looked interesting, don't know much about it though. Fool's Gold, pretty good Matthew McConaughey film. Kate Hudson. Get Hard, this is a pretty funny one with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. Would recommend that one. Get Smart, another classic Steve Carell movie. Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, good Matthew McConaughey film. Date Night with the lenticular slipcover, another classic Steve Carell movie where he's with Tina Fey. Delta Farce, Larry the Cable Guy, looked like a funny one but I haven't seen it yet. The Devil Wears Prada, classic romance kind of movie. Elf with Will Ferrell, one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time. The Rebound. Dumb and Dumber 2, the slipcover. While I don't think this was necessarily as good as the original, I think it was fun to have this follow-up. Moving on here. We have Zach and Marie Make a Porno. That was a pretty funny comedy movie with Seth Rogen. Appreciated that one. Despicable Me 2 with the slipcover. The Sorcerer's Apprentice. I remember enjoying that one in the theater. Has Nicolas Cage. Baby on Board. Ted 2 with the Steelbook. Great comedy movie. I would probably say the Ted series is my favorite comedy series of all time. Love Happens. The Duff, the slipcover. Mad Money. Little Fockers, the slipcover. Witness Protection with Larry the Cable Guy. The Six Wives of Henry LaFay with Tim Allen. God's Not Dead. I Love You, Beth Cooper. Then here we have a 6-movie gift set with various different faith-based films. This is actually a DVD I need to move to the DVD section of the shelf. We've got Overcomer, Courageous, Fireproof, Facing the Giants, Flywheel, and War Room. All great faith-based films. Here we've got Tag with the slipcover. Very enjoyable comedy there with a great cast. Dark Shadows with Johnny Depp. Pete's Christmas. Harold and Kumar Christmas. Need to watch that series still. Santa Claus 2. Great Santa Claus series there. The House. I really enjoy this one. This is probably one of my most appreciated Will Ferrell movies. Identity Thief. Great Jason Bateman and Melissa McCarthy comedy matchup. Pixels with the slipcover. Pretty cool slipcover here. Great Adam Sandler movie. The Bounty Hunter with Jennifer Aniston and Gerard Butler. Pretty good movie. The Ugly Truth. Dodgeball. Another classic comedy movie with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn. Night at the Museum. Enjoy that whole series. Here we have a collection of Blu-ray movies. So it's a Girls Rule collection. It has Mean Girls, Clueless, She's the Man. My wife enjoys all of these. The Way, Way Back. Need to watch that still. Leaves of Grass. New Year's Eve. Bad Milo. I watched that one recently. That's a hilarious movie. Very campy, very fun. Definitely check that one out. The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Scenes from a Mall. Haven't watched that yet. 10 Things I Hate About You with Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger. The Big Sick. Slipcover copy. Overboard. Bull Durham. Masterminds, pretty fun movie. Million Ways to Die in the West, still need to watch that one. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and No Strings Attached. Porky's, classic comedy movie, watched that recently and that was a very fun one to watch. The Lucky One. Melissa McCarthy and Tammy, enjoy that movie quite a bit. Hot Tub Time Machine with a slipcover, pretty good comedy. Without a Paddle, not bad. The Dilemma with Vince Vaughn and Kevin James. And Life Happens. All right, next up we have another multi-pack here. This is a multi-pack with The Hangover Part 2, and Due Date, all great comedy movies. Then we've got The Princess Bride. Weekend at Bernie's. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Again, I still need to watch that series. Here's an underrated one, The Sasquatch Gang. This is another one that has Justin Long. I really appreciated this one. It has a feel similar to Napoleon Dynamite, so definitely check that one out. Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James. Very fun movie he made. He's Just Not That Into You. Hitch, another classic comedy romance movie. How to Be Single. Ideal Home with Paul Rudd. Crazy Rich Asians. Johnny English 3.0. Just Go With It. Keanu, I love this movie. If you're a fan of Cats at all or of Key and Peele, you gotta see this movie. It's a great one. Larry Crown. Let's Be Cops. This is another one I highly recommend. I got a slipcover copy here. This movie always makes me laugh a ton. Observe and Report. Great Seth Rogen movie. I highly recommend that one too. Paul. Silly movie there. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. That whole series is pretty funny with Kevin James. Ride Along with Ice Cube and Kevin Hart. Another great series. Sausage Party. This is a great kind of adult animated film. This one's got a slipcover. It has Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill in it. Very fun one to watch. The Sex and the City movie. Sex Tape. This is another fun one. I enjoy this one quite a bit. They got a slipcover copy here. Spy. Very good Melissa McCarthy film. Step Brothers with Will Ferrell. Classic there. Sunshine Cleaning. The Original Ted. Great movie. The Three Stooges, another good one. Then we have Pitch Perfect 2. The Slammin' Salmon, need to see what that one's about. Looks like a silly one. The Heat. Friends with Kids. Management. Paper Towns, watched that one a couple times. That one's pretty good. I would almost say this one's actually more of a drama as well, so I might move that one. About Last Night. Up in the Air. The Internship, I enjoy that one quite a bit. Fun movie. Jexy, another underrated one. I highly recommend that comedy with Adam Devine. Another multi-pack, the Austin Powers 3-film collection. Tooth Fairy, the original movie with Dwayne Johnson. A Bag of Hammers. City Island. Lottery Ticket. The Rum Diary with Johnny Depp. Money for Nothing with John Cusack. Something Borrowed. And Dom Hemingway with the slipcover, another one I still need to watch. Then here we have The Campaign. Think Like a Man 2. Super Troopers 2. The Big Wedding, the slipcover. Santa Claus 3. Gulliver's Travels, Jack Black one I still need to watch. Roger Rabbit, 25th anniversary. Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping. This one I didn't love, but I need to give it another try. Ice Cube and Are We Done Yet? Peep World. Just Right with Queen Latifah in Common. Take Me Home Tonight. The Backup Plan with Jennifer Lopez. Edward Scissorhands, still have this one sealed. Need to watch that one again. Jingle All the Way, classic Christmas movie, must see. The Water Horse, Legend of the Deep. BFG from Disney, made by Steven Spielberg. Ride Along 2. Dinner for Schmucks, another classic Steve Carell movie with Paul Rudd as well. The Peanuts movie. Oz the Great and Powerful. The Polar Express 3D. Another classic Christmas movie with Tom Hanks. Hangover Part 3. Shrek the Third, great series. Happy Feet 2, another cute series. Open Season, Scared Silly. Shrek Forever After, the final chapter. Camille. Finding Nemo, another classic Pixar movie. Bambi, classic Disney movie. Princess Diaries and Princess Diaries 2, my wife loves those. Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, great series. Earth to Echo. Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Cop Out. Muppets Most Wanted with the slipcover. Big Hero 6. Alice in Wonderland with Johnny Depp. Despicable Me with Steve Carell. Grown Ups, another great series with Adam Sandler and Kevin James. Surfer Dude, one of the older Matthew McConaughey movies. Couples Retreat. I actually watched this one not too long ago while on vacation, and I actually enjoyed it more than most people do. Arthur, Russell Brand. And So It Goes with Michael Douglas. Life as We Know It. The Broken Hearts Gallery. Puerto Ricans in Paris. And Fatherhood with Kevin Hart. Moving on, now we have Horrible Bosses. That's another great comedy series. I love that combination of actors there. The Switch, classic comedy there. Blockers with the slipcover. I remember watching this one in the theater. Kind of funny. Pan. Cyrus, still need to try that one. Cedar Rapids, Ed Helms, not a bad one. Bernie, with Jack Black. Fist Fight, watched this one again recently, another fun comedy movie. Superbad, probably one of the most classic comedy movies of all time. 30 Minutes or Less with Jesse Eisenberg, another fun one. Your Highness with Danny McBride and James Franco, Natalie Portman. Need to watch that one still. 21 and Over. Away We Go, John Krasinski. Late in America. Need to watch that one still. From what I understand, that was made by some YouTubers, actually. Casino Jack. The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. Need to watch that one still, too, with Steve Carell. Grudge Match with De Niro and Stallone. Talladega Nights, another classic comedy. The Happy Time Murders, another one of my favorite comedies. Probably my favorite Melissa McCarthy movie, actually. Got a slipcover copy here, but I highly recommend that one. The Waterboy, just recently got this Adam Sandler movie. Horrible Bosses 2, not a bad follow-up. Leatherheads. The Great Buck Howard. Accidental Children of Divorce. Project X. The Rocker. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. The Guard. Big White. Long Shot. Need to watch that one soon. Goosebumps with Jack Black. And LOL Miley Cyrus. Still need to see if that one's worth keeping or not. Okay, now we're moving on to the DVDs I have in my comedy movie collection. So, starting out with Office Space, that one's a classic. Gotta see that one. I actually recently picked this up on Blu-ray, but still need to add it to my shelf here, so I'll be swapping that out soon. Here's The Ref. Don't know much about that one. Love the Coopers. All of My Heart, The Wedding. Man of the Year with Robin Williams. Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac. Good Boy. Friends with Money. My Boss's Daughter. Raising Helen. Analyze That with De Niro. When Harry Met Sally. Peter's Friends. Picture This with Ashley Tisdale. My One and Only. What's the Worst That Could Happen with Martin Lawrence and Danny DeVito. She's All That. Anywhere But Here. Chasing Liberty. Big Mama's Like Father, Like Son. The Original Happy Feet. The Truth About Cats and Dogs. National Security with Martin Lawrence. Head of State with Chris Rock. Welcome to Mooseport. Joe Somebody with Tim Allen. Can't Hardly Wait. Family Guy, the Stewie Griffin Untold Story. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Kind of like a Family Guy episode. The Last Mimsy. The Perfect Man. American Wedding. The Prince and Me 2. The Wedding Planner. Stealing Harvard. Kissing Jessica Stein. Catch That Kid, classic movie. The God Thumb. If you haven't checked out the Thumb series, you definitely got to check those out. These are a lot of fun to watch. Then we've got Bruce Almighty, classic Jim Carrey movie there. It's Complicated. Must Love Dogs. Family Guy, Something 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 Dark Side. Everyone is Kung Fu Fighting. The Last Kiss. Celeste and Jesse Forever. Blades of Glory, another classic Will Ferrell movie. Big Mama's House 2. Mr. Bean, or The Best of Mr. Bean. Love that whole series and all of his movies. Ace Ventura Collection. Pet Detective When Nature Calls. American Pie 3 movie pack. Anchorman, Will Ferrell. 21 Jump Street. 13 Going on 30. Empire Records. Employee of the Month. This movie's a lot of fun with Dane Cook. Basically about a bunch of big box warehouse employees messing around with their job. Euro Trip. Failure to Launch, classic McConaughey movie. Date movie. Dumb and Dumber, as well as Dumb and Dumber When Harry Met Lloyd. I mainly have this one just for that kind of spin-off they did. Need to watch that still. Duplex, classic movie with Ben Stiller. The Upside of Anger with Kevin Costner. National Lampoon's Vacation. Visioneers. What a Girl Wants with Amanda Bynes. Whipped. Wild Hogs. I got this one on Blu-ray recently, so I'll be upgrading that. You, Me, and Dupree. Young Adult. Something's Gotta Give. Zoolander number 2. Not my favorite series, but not terrible. Bridget Jones' Diary. Never Been Kissed. Holes, classic movie. Easy A, another one I recently upgraded to Blu-ray, but another great comedy. Get a Clue. How to Deal. Then these last two we have here. Jerry Maguire, classic Tom Cruise movie. And A Lot Like Love. Then down here we have the original Paul Blart Mall Cop, classic movie. Serendipity. Baby Mama. Barbershop, the original movie. Blind Dating. This one has Chris Pine. Bewitched, Nicole Kidman, Will Ferrell. Bringing Down the House. Then we've got The Bachelor. Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller. Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow. The Cobbler. This is probably a little bit lesser known Adam Sandler movie. It's a Wonderful Life, classic there. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Home Alone, the Complete Collection, classic series. Arthur Christmas. Jim Carrey as the Grinch. The Family Holiday. John Tucker Must Die. Thunderpants. If you haven't seen this one, it's a pretty silly kids kind of funny movie that has Rupert Grint from Harry Potter. 2-film collection with Jack Frost and Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2. Splash. This can be kind of a harder one to find, but it's a pretty good movie that was somewhat censored if you watch it on Disney or some of the streaming services. So it has Tom Hanks in it. Say It Isn't So. Death to the Supermodels. Robin Williams' Jack. Rob Schneider as Hot Chick. Dirty Love. A Dirty Shame. Penelope. Six Brothers in a Cadillac. Fired Up. The First Time. Election. Friday After Next. Friends with Benefits. Funny People, another Adam Sandler one. Seth Rogen. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Chasing Amy. Family Weekend. Air Bud, it's a classic. And Julia Roberts and My Best Friend's Wedding. Next up, we have Game Night, classic Jason Bateman movie. Enjoyed that one a lot. Stakeout. All About Steve. Laugh Out Loud double feature featuring 50 First Dates and Big Daddy. Grind. The Groomsman, Good Luck Chuck, The Girl Next Door, and Just Married. Get Him to the Greek. That was a pretty good one to watch I saw recently. Superstar, classic movie with Will Ferrell. The Sweetest Thing. The Terminal. Our Idiot Brother. 16 Candles, classic movie. Spanglish, pretty good Adam Sandler movie. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Role Models. School for Scoundrels, that's a pretty classic movie I enjoyed quite a bit with Billy Bob Thornton and John Heater, not sure you pronounce that. School of Rock, classic comedy movie, another one of my favorites of all time with Jack Black. Second Act with Jennifer Lopez. Sex and the City 2. Shanghai Kiss. She's Out of My League. Norbit, very funny one with Eddie Murphy. Neighbors 2, I upgraded this one to Blu-ray recently. Old School. Orange County, Jack Black. The Other Guys, fun one with Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg. I saw I had that one on Blu-ray though, so I'll take that one out. The Late Bloomer, another funny movie. Pizza, very low budget, but also pretty funny. 50/50. Then we've got this one here, which is Hot Fuzz, and I have this on the HD DVD format, which I don't have anything that plays that, but I just got this to have the DVD copy because they got it really cheap. Then here is Bait Shop. This one looks like could have been funny. One Last Thing. Permanent. College. Caddyshack, classic golf comedy. Michael. Vegas Vacation. And Raising Arizona. Now we have Juno. Spy Kids 3D, another classic one from my childhood. Jackie Chan and Around the World in 80 Days. Shrek 2. Daddy Daycare. The Sandlot, classic movie. Casper, another classic from my childhood. Karate Kid series here, got 4 of the movies there. Evan Almighty. The Goonies, another classic. Kitten Parties is a random thing I got from the Dollar Tree for my wife. Chihuahua the movie. Daddy Day Camp. Flicka. This one I actually feel like is probably more of a drama as well. Pokemon, first movie. Vin Diesel and the Pacifier. Racing Stripes, another classic. The original Cars. Spy Cat. Garfield the movie, that's a good one. Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. The Fuck-Ons, that was a pretty silly series I found at a random physical media store. Crazy Meet Stupid Love. Summer Catch. Switch. Sisters. Heartbreakers. Sweet Home Alabama with Reese Witherspoon. Bedazzled. Are We There Yet? Father of the Bride. The Wedding Date. RV, classic family movie there, it's a good one. Honeymoon in Vegas. Someone Like You. Nacho Libre, another classic Jack Black movie. Miss Congeniality 2. Love Stinks. Under the Tuscan Sun. And The Accidental Husband. Then we have Monster House. Cheaper by the Dozen, which is a classic. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, another classic. Stealing Christmas. Bug's Life, another classic Pixar. The Princess of Thieves. Man of the House. The Great Outdoors. Shallow Hal, a good Jack Black movie there. Shanghai Nights with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson. The Holiday. Bad Santa, great comedy Christmas movie there. Baby's Day Out. The original Shrek, one of my favorite movies as a kid. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, my wife enjoys that one a lot. Scrooge. Hotel for Dogs. The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. Beethoven. Lilo and Stitch, another classic kids movie. Pokemon the Movie 3, good Pokemon movie. Freaky Friday, classic Disney movie. Miracle. Some family classic movies, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Finding Neverland. Beverly Hills Chihuahua. The original Night at the Museum, love that movie. Zathura, that's a pretty good one too. Underdog. Dr. Dolittle. Chicken Little. Wild Thornberrys movie, I enjoyed that series a lot as a kid. White Fang. Running Scared. Snow Dogs. National Treasure 2 with Nicolas Cage, great series. Down and Derby. Danny Boy. Then we have Scooby-Doo 2, another great movie. All right, now the last couple rows here, we have Harold. A Christmas Story, one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Cheaper by the Dozen 2. Forces of Nature. First Daughter. Double feature of MVP and MVP 2. Nutty Professor, another classic Eddie Murphy comedy. Fools Rush In. The Intern. Wedding Days. Freestyle. Rat Race, classic movie. The Love Guru, Mike Myers. The Family Man with Nicolas Cage. The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler. Garden State. Win a Date. Chaos Theory, Ryan Reynolds. Matt Damon in The Informant. Definitely Maybe. Guarding Tess and It Could Happen to You, both Nicolas Cage movies. Because I Said So. What's Your Number? Legally Blonde. Just Like Heaven. Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless Mind, interesting movie. The original Zoolander. Camouflage. Bottle Rocket. Stuck on You with Matt Damon. In the Mix with Usher. Something New. The Third Wheel. Sideways. Closer. Envy. Roll Bounce, Johnny English, another great Rowan Atkinson movie, and Jimmy Glick. All right, now for the very last row, we have Laugh Out Loud Collection with Click and Mr. Deeds. Trainwreck, just an okay movie. John Cusack and High Fidelity. Don John. Animal House. Jack and Jill. I actually recently got this one on the Blu-ray format. Chuck and Larry. I Love You Man. The House Bunny. Hot Pursuit, another one I recently upgraded to Blu-ray. Strange Wilderness. Kicking and Screaming, Will Ferrell. License to Wed. Adam Sandler and Chris Rock in The Longest Yard. And we've got Lost in Translation. My Big Fat Greek Wedding. My Best Friend's Girl. Mr. Woodcock. Monster-in-Law. Meet the Parents, classic Ben Stiller. Guilt Trip, it's a great one. Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison, great Adam Sandler movies. Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. Be Cool. Les Divorce. Meet the Fockers. Nanny Diaries of Scarlett Johansson. Napoleon Dynamite, another one of the greatest comedies of all time. Neighbors, another one I upgraded to Blu-ray recently. We got Down to You. Run, Fat Boy, Run. Anger Management, another great Adam Sandler movie. Accepted. The Men Who Stare at Goats. In Her Shoes. Balls of Fury. Bridesmaids, classic. About a Boy. Confessions of a Shopaholic. Eddie Murphy, Coming to America. And Stakeout. Or another Stakeout, I should say. All right, now for the Funko Pops above my comedy shelves. We have a Mega Pop of Groot here in a planter, and it says, I am Groot at the bottom. I enjoy this one quite a bit. I think I got this from GameStop originally. Then we have a Mickey Mouse Mega Pop. I got this one not too long ago from Sam's Club. Pretty cool one. I believe this was one they made for the Disney 100th anniversary. And then down here we have a bunch of different Mickey and Minnie Mouses. And these are for the Disney archives. They have a nice stand here. And then we have the Halloween Minnie Mouse as well. And then over here, some E.T. Pops. Here we have Elliot and E.T. on the bike flying away in front of the moon. And this one's actually a glow-in-the-dark one where the moon glows. So that's pretty cool. And then Elliot down here, normal pop with the flashlight. And then, of course, the Mega Pikachu. He has some really long ears that make him hard to place on the shelf here. And then Hello Kitty over here in the corner, I believe it's like 8 or 10 inch pop. So those are all of the Funko Pops above my comedy shelves. All right, so that was a walkthrough of my entire collection of over 2,000 movies and all the Funko Pops I have above my movie shelves. I hope you enjoyed this in-depth walkthrough, as it took me a lot of time to record and everything, but let me know in the comments below what your favorite movies in my collection were, or your favorite Funko Pops in my collection. I'd love to talk with you down there. And if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.